The Sega's dead, Henry, and nothing important ever comes out of Sega at this point.
Well, no, there was a bit of news, but I didn't see it worth newsing on at all. Even
like all Sega news,
like Sonic costumes exist for the upcoming movie.
Dude, I almost fucking put that on the list this week.
God, why? Because they are in the process of remaking the fucking design. You would think that they would hold off on making costumes of Uncanny Valley.
Coming soon to... no, those costumes were already in production, and they're coming out whether that movie came out or not.
Yeah,
Two, coming soon to Dead by Daylight. Weirdo, an original version of Sonic CG trailer.
Yeah.
The scariest of killers.
Yeah, just make the new Sonic mask an optional skin for literally any of the killers.
Yeah. You could build a whole horror franchise just around some dude wandering around in that mask.
Throw it on either the clown or the nurse.
Sure.
Let's just double the horror.
Sure.
So that you can still see, because they're very clearly dressed as clown and nurse.
Put it in Death Garden as well.
Yeah. Though it would make more sense for it to be, the scavengers. Make it the hunters.
No. So it's the hunters wandering around just going, gotta go fast. And the scavengers like, oh shit, yeah, we do. Also, they have that boost.
Yeah.
Come here, little hunters, you gotta go fast. The harvest demands you go fast. This is all still Sonic jokes. Yeah, that make me happy. Gotta go fast. Hello and welcome to the Wicked Awesomecast, episode 175. We are still a podcast in theory about video games and other stuff. Less so about other stuff these days, it seems. We've not been quite as tangential, but yes, welcome, podcast about video games. As always, I am Mordak Undivided, aka Charlie. I think I did that in the wrong order. And I'm joined by Alex, aka Mave Online, and Henry, aka Nomad Har or Kraken Zero, or... I feel like there's a long list of gamer tags we could throw here just to really mess with people, on increasingly specific platforms. On his Friendster account, he's...
Oh, yeah.
On Steam, I'm Berries and Cream.
Yeah, fuck that. Change your gamer tag. I hate your Steam gamer tags so much. As someone who works hard to unify my gamer tags, and then you're like, oh, I got my gamer tag on everything except Steam. I'm a bad Captain Crunch flavor. I'm like,
no, for context, on Steam, you can change your display name.
Yeah, I know.
Username is Mave Online.
But we see it as fucking berries and...
Berries and cream.
Yeah, yes. We see as that. We're like, oh, it's the off-brand character from South Park. He's not Crunch. He's not what was it, Berry Crunch, whatever that guy's name was. He's Berries and Cream, the sidekick to an already shitty character.
I figured it's more the creepy-looking guy who danced around when they offered him Starburst in a commercial over 10 years ago.
Yeah, no one gets that reference.
I don't get that either. I guess because I don't really watch commercials.
So, okay, really quick before we go
what's a Starburst, old man?
Yeah.
Okay. So a long time ago, they did these commercials with these two guys hanging out. I guess it's a train station, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you want some Starburst? Sure." And then this one dude he looks very colonial. He's got a nice little lad outfit, and he's like, "What did you say?" And he's like, "Berries and cream Starburst," and he's like, "Whoa!" And he starts to do a little dance. He's like, berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream. And then he ups the octave. He's like, berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
Alex, I think you imagined this thing and you made this all up.
It's a real thing.
I think that's just what plays in your head.
It's a real thing, and it was
fucking hilarious. Are you off your meds again, Alex?
No, it was fucking hilarious. And I had to just use that as a thing. So yeah, It's my... And then there's also a really creepy avatar.
Dear listeners, if you want to write in and tell Alex he's just fucking making that bullshit up, because no advertising company would be dumb enough to make that ad?
Oh no, it's real, and I love it. And then there was a video they did a long time ago where they teach you how to do the little lab.
Stop!
And it's fucking great. They did 3 commercials for it. And I never saw this dude again. I feel so bad because he was so good.
Moving on.
Yeah.
To the rest of the podcast. We're not going to talk about made-up ad campaigns for garbage-ass candy.
Wow. Who hurt you?
I'm sorry. If I wanted to eat flavored wax, I'd just go and buy a Yankee Candle and chew on that. It's cheaper and tastes better.
God, who hurt you guys?
See, I liked Starburst until I found other candy.
I remember my first reaction to Starburst being, why the fuck would anyone buy these, and who bought these, and what's wrong with them? Like, anything is better than a Starburst. Not eating something has a better flavor than a Starburst.
It's not really the flavor, it's the weird-ass waxy texture. I mean, it's like, and I like taffy. You know, I like real.
Are you the one person
taffy.
that buys the saltwater taffy, Henry?
Yeah, straight up.
We found him.
I like saltwater taffy. I think it's delicious.
Who knew, Alex, that we had this person on the podcast all along and we didn't know? He's been keeping the Jersey Shore saltwater taffy industry in business single-handedly.
There you go.
Oh, we actually have to get to video game shit. Who had a good week? Who wants to go first?
I could go first.
Sure, go for it.
Alright, so, I was playing a video game, and it has nothing at all to do with what was going on this week. I played a game called Gods Unchained, and...
Doesn't sound political or pointed at all.
No.
Nope. It is, well, I mean, the premise itself isn't, but it's a card game. It's a card game. It's maybe kind of somewhat similar to a certain game related to a certain piece of news we're going to be talking about. I'll mention later why it's related. But in any case, Gods Unchained...
it's so cool they managed to make a video game about how Silent Hill is going to be a slot machine so quickly. That's the correct piece of news, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the related news. Alright, so Gods Unchained is a pretty cool card game. So I played quite a few. I kind of like card games. I mean, I'm an old school Magic the Gathering player. So I mean, I played that back in the day, like not long after it came out. Like only maybe I started a year or two after it literally started. So I mean, yeah, I've been playing collectible card games for a long time, and that's what this is. Gods Unchained is yet another collectible card game. I didn't play Pokemon. I've kind of mentioned before, I was a bit old for the Pokemon craze, so I didn't grow up with it. So I was never as interested in it. But in any case, Gods Unchained is essentially you have a deck. You build a deck of 30 cards. It is 30. You can't have it larger or smaller, so it's always the same size. And you have a certain amount of basically magic per turn that you can use to cast anything in your hand. It's mostly creatures. So I'm going to say it's like 95% creatures with a handful of other types of spells. So the creatures have an attack value and a life value. Like Magic, they have summoning sickness where when they first come out on the first turn, they can't attack. So unless you have something like a certain ability that's haste, basically, that you can give them where they can attack on the same turn. And otherwise, yeah, it follows a lot of the same things you might expect from a collectible card game, where they have a certain amount of attack and life, and many of them have some other ability. Like, maybe some of the abilities, and actually a lot of the abilities are sort of, as you cast this, it does another effect. Such as, it will attack another creature, or it will buff up all of your creatures, or something. So basically, yeah, there's sort of a summoning attack for many of the cards too, and that's really where a lot of the sort of mechanics are built around, is these summoning attacks, because there aren't that many that have any special abilities once you've already cast them. And so casting them at the correct time becomes a real matter of sort of when to, being strategic about at what point you cast something. For example, I mean, if you cast something that does damage, but they don't have anything on the board at the time, then then it doesn't. Then it kind of just fizzles out. So, but yeah. So other than that,
What's
turn.
The win condition? Are you going after like life points or?
Yeah, you have life points. So you're controlling a god essentially, and the god has 20 or 30 life points, and so you're trying to, once you attack the creatures, or actually, you can attack the god directly at all times. So unless they have a certain type of creatures are front. Like, so basically they're front line, and so if there's a frontline creature out, you must attack that creature first.
Huh.
There's also backline creatures that can't be attacked unless they don't have any other creatures on your side. So if you're controlling a creature with backline, they can't be attacked as long as you have other creatures. So that's good if you have a creature that actually has, for example, there's a couple of creatures with an ability you can unleash instead of their attack. It completely replaces their attack, actually. So, example, there's like a catapult, and it can attack another creature or the other god for one, but it's backline, so it can't be attacked unless, you don't have any other creatures. But yeah, the frontline backline thing is a cool addition to it, so that becomes very, very valuable. That's definitely, can stand between winning or losing that turn. Because every turn, you get one more mana unlocked that you can use to cast. So the first turn, you only have one. And
kind of
then
Hearthstone rules almost.
Yes. So it's very similar. Yeah, so there's a lot of similarities there. But for some of the later ones, it takes a few more turns to unlock the next mana, or magic, or whatever you may call it. I mean, I end up using the term mana because, Magic the Gathering player. But, I like the cards, but the thing is, the more interesting part is kind of about the game itself. So, it's a game built around also the idea of cryptocurrency. So you can only buy things through their cryptocurrency, so they're kind of all in on a certain type of cryptocurrency called Ether. And so that's
I know that one.
There's so many, I can't keep track of them. So, if you want to buy cards or whatever, you can buy them through cryptocurrency. But that's where the other fascinating thing, and this is the first time I've seen this in a digital-only collectible card game, you own your cards. Like, you properly own your cards. Like, that's one of their things. Like, if you buy, when you're opening packs, even the ones you get for free, they're permanently yours. You can trade them, you can sell them.
Artifact did something similar, I think.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that game. But, with this one, you own your cards, and so even if you leave the game, or whatever case, they're yours. So, I mean, I guess as long as they have any sort of a system up to support it, the cards are permanently yours. But, I mean, I think they're also, because of the cryptocurrency link, you own them in the cryptocurrency as well. Somehow. It's not quite clear how that works out. But in any case, I mean, they aren't just digital things, but you don't really own them, They're actually point-of-sale rules, which, I mean, I've mentioned before, I'm a big fan of that. I think I'm a big fan of actual point-of-sale doctrine, that once you buy something, you should have the ability to sell it if you want to, like for video games and such. But in this case, you own your cards. They aren't just digitally leased out to you. So that's kind of unique. Somebody already sold one of these super rares for thousands of dollars. Because that's the other thing. There's chances to get a super ultra rare where there's literally only one of that card, period. So there's no other of that card. So it's literally super unique. Nobody else will have that card. So, and that's what got sold for several $1,000s. So, and and they basically run raffles. It's still technically in beta, So they're still ironing things out. Like, I'm trying to get online to stream with it, even though it runs not great on my current computer, or missing video card computer. And so, but I have a bug that I need to show the devs, but I need to like VOD it so I can actually show them, have something to present to them. But yeah, the game is fun, and yeah, I will mention how it's linked into our main thing a bit later. I
think we can guess, but we'll let that mystery linger because it's obviously about Silent Hill's new what's it called?
Yep.
Slot machine future.
Yep. In other news, I started watching an anime called Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's a simulcast for Crunchyroll this season. And so I mentioned before, I do have a Crunchyroll
So I've actually always meant to ask this question because you speak Japanese and you're relatively fluent in it.
Yes.
How do you watch your anime? Like, I'm assuming it's not dubbed for all of the reasons above, but do you even bother with the subtitles still, or no?
I mean, you can't take them off.
Okay.
Like, on most everything I've watched, like on Crunchyroll, there's not an option to take off subtitles as far as I can tell. I don't think there is, but yeah, but sometimes I leave them on because, I mean, I'm not super awesome fluent in that there will be words that I'll be like, I don't know what that means.
It's also slang and stuff that like you'd never heard that word before because you were in a context where it never popped up.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. I actually know a lot of slang. It's when something really technical shows up because, I mean, you could say that I probably have the approximate level of like a middle schooler at this point or something. So I'm missing some technical stuff. Like, I would find it very difficult to talk about like my degree, like talk about programming in Japanese.
Gotcha.
I would sound a bit like probably a middle schooler talking about programming,
which could be kind of badass, but I get the point.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I definitely do leave the subtitles on there, but I usually don't look down at them that often. Because, yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's, what's happening in a lot of stuff is conversational. I will say one thing, depends on the anime, because there's some of them that are definitely aimed at older crowds, and so they will use way more sophisticated vocabulary and language. I mean, for instance, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure uses some pretty sophisticated language because it's, especially with the later kind of iterations of it, like by the time you get to the third one, Stardust Crusaders, they're starting to use a lot of really technical terms because that's where it kind of really started to come into its own as sort of less Dragon Ball and more suspense thriller, and it really hits that in the fourth season, or the fourth iteration of JoJo. But in any case, yeah, I watched something, but yeah, and yeah, I've started watching a brand new one called Ascendance of a Bookworm, and it's about it's another one of your isekai or sort of other world ones where somebody from our reality gets stuck in sort of another reality, and it is a fantasy reality, and the character that gets sent is a woman. It hasn't really specified how old she is, but she seems to be maybe like fairly like early 20s woman that like passes away for some reason. I don't remember if they even specified what she died of, but she gets reincarnated in another world in like a little girl, like a young girl who suddenly kind of remembers her past life as somebody from our world. And so, but the thing is, the world that so the character, the original character, their character that gets reincarnated, she was a librarian that loves books, just like absolutely adores books. That's where the bookworm thing comes in. She was actually going to be a librarian. So, and she gets reincarnated, but the world she gets reincarnated into, it is a pre-movable type era.
Books are illegal.
Well, not illegal. They're rare. they're like the books were before the printing press. That books are super rare because they have to be copied by hand.
Mm.
And so she's like spends the first episode freaking out over the fact that there's like no books anywhere. She's so if you want to watch it, I don't want to give it away, but that much away. But yeah, I mean that's something that's like given away in the PV. That's like, oh god, there's no books. I'm a bookworm, and oh god, I got it's reincarnated me into the worst reality where there's no books. But there's the implication in it that, I mean, even in the title, that she's going to probably invent the printing press there just so she can read books. And so as a major book reader myself, as a book dude, I'm having a lot of fun with this one. And because the thing is, these isekai type anime, there's so many of them. There's a parody bringing several together. I don't know if you're familiar with Isekai Quartet, which is also
I don't even know the phrase, really.
Isekai Quartet is also on Crunchyroll, and it combines 4 isekai things. And it's funny because you have this sort of mini alliance between the people that were basically the main characters that are from our world, and they all realize you're from like my reality, aren't you? And they're even throwing in more for the next season. But in any case, yeah, it can be a pretty tired genre if you aren't really being creative with it. Like, I mean, one of those in Isekai Quartet is a fantasy one, but it's like it plays with all of the fantasy tropes. It's like a satire. And this one, Ascendance of a Bookworm, it's lovely, it's high animation quality, it is simulcast, so we're getting it very, very soon as it's available. Like, it's subtitled and available to the wider audience, they release it, so it's only to 2 episodes at this point, but I've been enjoying it, it's been fun. So that's mainly what I got up to this week. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I also watched some anime this week, but it's on the opposite end of the spectrum from what you were talking about. So I learned about this anime courtesy of my phone. I think it was Instagram kept being like, hey, here's some ads for this thing. And the show is called Why Are You Here, Teacher? Or something along these lines. And it is a show whose opening song, like whose opening credits alone, I am uncomfortable watching with my fiancé present.
I'm familiar with that. It's straight up known as ecchi.
The show is definitely for perverts. It is a show by perverts for perverts. So much so that at one point I got like 3 episodes in before I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And then found myself Googling, is there an uncensored version of this show? And yup, there totally is, which makes it even fucking weirder.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's not a good show, but
I haven't watched it. I didn't find the premise particularly interesting
at face value. The idea of a dude who just keeps winding up in awkward situations is something I could get behind, but the perv level of the show is quite high, and then the forced censorship of the show, I'm like, so I get to feel uncomfortable with no payoff. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this is definitely a show you could be watching if you so chose. So I think there's like 9 episodes of it, but there's a 2nd season coming, and the uncensored episodes are also coming if that's your thing. I don't know to what platform, because I don't think Crunchyroll will be cool with that, and I know VRV won't be, so...
No, I think I'm pretty sure that's on Crunchyroll, just in a non... It's just in the kind of edited format.
No, the censored version is on Verve and Crunchyroll. I'm talking is like the uncensored episodes are coming and are like being made readily available, and I don't know where they're going to wind up because
they're going to be released on Blu-ray, I'm guessing.
Probably, and as much as it pains me to say it, I think that's the correct way to watch the show because the censoring.
It's the only reason you would watch the show. It's just
yes, but also, like, the censoring system for it makes it feel grosser somehow. But that's just...
It's like they're trying to hide it.
I am a strong believer in the idea that, like, if you're making a show for perverts, just let the show be for perverts, and, like, don't try and be like, we made it acceptable for general audiences. I'm like, no, you really haven't. In fact, you've made it worse. It's like, this may not have been anything that flowed through your guys' lives at one point, but my friends got obsessed with this, like, concept. I think they called it Mormon porn or something, where it was, like, it was a picture of, like, a woman in a bikini that then you would do, like, bubble cutouts on top of it. You'd cover it over, and you'd, like, do bubble cutouts.
I've seen that.
And it inherently makes everything you do that way, just, like, your mind fills in the gaps in the worst ways possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
Yeah, I've seen that done. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
It inherently makes it filthier than it ever would have been if it was just the picture kind of thing, and that's what this show has going for it. It's not a good show. I'm just talking about this because I felt I had to talk about it because it's fucking weird, and yeah. On the flip side...
I watch good anime.
I do too, typically, but my phone was like, hey, there's this thing, and I'm like, yeah, I got an hour to kill. Let's check this bullshit out. They're like 8-minute episodes.
Yeah, it's like, I'll look at the thing. Let's give the thing a try.
As someone who was a teenager, really loved, what's it called, harem anime, I'm like, fuck it, what's the worst this could be? 10 minutes in. Well, anime's come a long way in the being bad category since I last dove in. Cool. But in more important things, I finished the Shadowkeep campaign. I like the ending for Shadowkeep a lot. I'm now kind of in the pseudo endgame for that. I've been really enjoying the new seasonal activity, which is the Vex invasion. I think it's a real cool quick burn activity. It's exceedingly grindy, but also it's a horde mode, so it's not trying to hide its grindiness. There's a lot in the Shadowkeep expansion I like a lot. I may start playing up a second character soon, or I may just stick with my hunter for the foreseeable future. I don't know. I'm in a weird spot rating-wise because I can't do it because wedding is literally happening next week, and I can't gear up for the new wedding the new raid because, I have life in the way. So it's kind of a weird limbo thing of what can I get done in 3 hours that will feel like meaningful progress. Oh, Gambit. Yes, I'm playing Gambit a bunch. I was already doing anyway.
So is the moon still haunted?
The moon is still unbelievably haunted.
The moon is incredibly fucking haunted.
Yeah, it's stupid haunted still. Your efforts do nothing to make the moon less haunted. In fact, they might make the moon more haunted, technically. It's weird. So, and I think it's worth talking about this idea where some people are talking about how they feel as though the Shadowkeep story is unfinished. And I think we have to have a conversation about this kind of come this time next year when the full year 3 is done, because at least the way I've interpreted the way Shadowkeep's campaign works is it is the it's the introductory chapters to the story that is year 3, because, and this is kind of where like it gets semantic-y for Destiny. So Shadowkeep and Season 8, I think is what Undying is, are separate things. Like, it is possible to have bought Season 8, the Season of the Undying, and not Shadowkeep. You shouldn't have, but you could do that, hypothetically. And the story of Shadowkeep is about kind of there's this thing, and it's causing all this shit to go down in what's it called? In Season of the Undying. And I suspect we're going to be building off that for the rest of the year. Like, I think the story of Shadowkeep will come to an end with the final season of year 3, as opposed to at the end of Shadowkeep. But also, I think the ending of Shadowkeep it's cool, it's trippy, it's hints at some stuff. They are setting up some potentially cool concepts for the eventual Destiny 3 we will be getting, probably. There's a lot going on in Shadowkeep I thought was cool, and then the stuff around it, like the cleaning up of the progression system, the making certain weapons now bounties. My quest log is cluttered to the brim, but also in a good way. Like, there's lots of stuff to do. As someone who at one point could have been like, yeah, Destiny's always had some problems with stuff to do. Not the problem anymore. Way too much stuff to do, unfortunately. Like, you have to kind of pick things and pursue them heavily, or you're not. It's now hard to ambiently complete lots of things at once, which I think is good. Like, it makes it so you're actively pursuing specific things. Like, there's a bow, an exotic one I want pretty badly because it's great in Gambit, and I just don't have it yet. And it does poison arrows and stuff. It's called Lamarck. Lamarck? Something like that. It's good. It's real good. But as a result, I'm doing Let's the Forge, which I like, but yeah.
I kind of like the fact that bows exist, and they're actually
Did
like
you miss
cool.
me and Alex talking about bows in Destiny?
No, I'm just saying that I personally like the fact that bows exist in Destiny.
Yeah.
Period. It's just cool.
They're fucking great in that game.
I wish they were a tad more raid viable, but across the board, like they're a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. I also got around to watching Big Mouth Season 3. Have you finished that yet, Alex?
I'm still working through it. I don't watch it when I'm eating dinner.
Sure.
Just because sometimes the show is questionable when I'm eating.
Sure. Just got to power through that. I'm very happy we got the return of the Shame Wizard.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Shame Wizard is back.
The fact that they have fucking was it Lupin from Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Like the professor. He's the Shame Wizard is fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out sometime.
You should check out Big Mouth. It is... I've
heard good things about it.
Increasingly so, I think Big Mouth is attempting to kind of be an important thing that I think will be unfortunately used as a supplemental for education in the future.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Hell, I'm an adult and I occasionally learn shit from that show. But, yeah.
And having worked in a middle school, like, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, that's just the way it is for some kids.
Yeah.
Myself having actually been a middle school teacher, so I maybe it'll be even more relevant to me.
That show will really resonate with you then. You should definitely watch it and actually at least catch a few episodes, and then, you know, next time, because obviously next week we aren't going to have
a giant fuck off topic. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. We're off next week. Yeah,
we're off next week. So you got 2 weeks. Check out a few, but I would really love to hear especially as a teacher. Like, I work doing IT, but you as a teacher in middle school, I would love to hear your input on that one.
I just enjoy how the show encapsulates my ongoing comment of the world needs shame, not in the way people interpret that sentence, but like there's an inherent amount of shame society needs to actually function correctly.
Yep.
That we occasionally lack. But last but not least on my list, I saw Baby Metal.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. You saw them live?
I saw them live.
Sweet.
Yes. Last time I saw them, I was kind of underwhelmed. This was a hell of a show. They were channeling some real hard Rammstein energy, which was weird. It's gone from... So, I initially wasn't even going to see them. So they were playing on the same night as a band called Sabaton, who is equally ridiculous for different reasons.
I know Sabaton. They're great.
They're big into war and singing about war. But so one of my former coworkers was like, "Hey, I want to go see Baby Metal," and I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll go." And it was a hell of a show. If you're not into metal but are kind of curious because it's ridiculous, it's a hell of a show. I think anyone can enjoy it. It is one fantastically done show kind of thing, and the dancing to the death metal is quite good still. It's ridiculous. The gimmick holds, if you will. And for those not curious about what Baby Metal is, it is a byproduct of the Japanese idol system that combines kind of death metal music with J-pop dancing. In its simplest description, it is a kind of J-pop three-girl dancing band backed by a death metal band. And I don't use the word death metal lightly. Like, they are fucking playing hard kind of thing. Like, they're a genuinely talented band. And then you've also got this weird gimmick on top of it. And it works. It is entertaining. And far less creepy than it used to be. But that's a whole separate topic.
Well, they're older.
Yes, I was joking. I was actually joking with my friend about how, like, when you talk, you can't ironically be into baby metal early on because it's like, yeah, this is inherently creepy if you're inherently, like, either you're in on this being a weird-ass gimmick or you're not, and being like, oh, I'm into it ironically. It's like, what are you here for? Because that just sounds creepy. But also being like, hey, all the people in the band are legal now makes it so much worse than just being like, yeah, the band was weird. It's like, why were you keeping track of this fact? Why? Why is this important to you that now the entire band is legal? I agree, it makes it less creepy, and I'm no longer making the if you've been to a baby metal show, you're on a certain list jokes, but why did you know this factoid? Why is this immediately where you go to when I bring up the inherent creepiness of baby metal? Huh? huh? But yeah, it's a hell of a show. I love messing with people that are like uncomfortable talking about baby metal though too, because it is inherently just a bizarre concept that works. And like before we get lots of emails about this, like I'm aware it's a completely manufactured thing. It's a byproduct of the Japanese idol system, which is a whole kind of freaky entertainment production construct to itself too that we don't have the time or the knowledge necessarily to dig into in this one. But like to put it in perspective, the Yakuza games play around with the idol system in a pretty well-rounded way, so maybe go learn about it from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what have you been up to, Alex?
I didn't really do much this week. Other than like I realized I really like watching dumpster fires.
Mm.
They make me happy in ways I didn't think I would enjoy. But they do.
There's a German word for that, and I think I've used it. I don't say it
Schadenfreude.
right.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to say, I've experienced a lot of Schadenfreude, or what you said, this week.
Schadenfreude.
Yes, Schadenfreude. That should be the episode name. But anyway, so that really didn't do much. What is it? I did play a little bit of Fight, and what's the other one? I started wanting to play with some other ones, some other games recently, so I did do some Destiny 2. Well, yeah, no, I've been doing Destiny 2. But yeah, I didn't really do much. I am getting rid of my old car finally. The lease is up soon, so I am in the market for another vehicle. And I am looking for something all-wheel drive and stick shift. So clearly a Subaru is the way to go.
Why do you want stick shift?
I like driving stick shift. My first 3 cars were all stick shift.
Uh-huh.
The car I have now
you've never done stick shift in snow.
No.
Don't get stick shift.
No, I look forward to stick shift.
Don't get stick shift in snow.
I look forward to it.
Okay. On the Subaru topic, I should take my car to the dealership this week for a pretty expensive repair that my warranty wound up covering, so maybe get that engine warranty, but that's a separate topic.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of warranty, so
oh god.
The battery on my vehicle died out recently.
Right, so you gotta explain why that's important, because you have an electric car.
Yeah. So I have a Volt.
You have a Volt. Okay.
Yeah, I have a Chevy Volt. And so the battery died out, and here's the fun part about the battery system and how that affects the rest of the car entirely. So instead of just telling you, or instead of it just not wanting to start or doing something, the computer system goes into a systemic failure, which starts to shut down every system one by one as you're sitting in it. So for me, it said, the IntelliLink transmission system's down. Oh, your brake system's down. Airbag system down. So-and-so down. Low power mode.
Wait, so you're saying a battery dying in a Leaf is like being in a sci-fi spaceship? Like that's cores failing? That's terrifying, but kind of badass. Captain, airbags are offline. Captain, power steering is now...
Whoa.
Does it talk to you or just
crazy.
like the lights go off?
And so I feel like it's a sensor thing more than anything else, obviously, because the car was
probably,
fine. But like, I got gas, and then after I got gas, I proceeded to turn my car on, and then it was like IntelliLink system down. And then just one by one, as I started to use the functionality of everything, it would fail. So it was like,
that is some awesome, not awesome because you had to go through it, but awesome kind of future bullshit. That's
it is kind of trippy though. So
yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm like, okay, and I got online and I checked. Luckily, I have roadside assistance, so it wasn't a big deal. But in the meantime, I went online and looked it up, and they're like, oh yeah, you just need to reset the computer system because it's in low power mode. So you have to unplug the battery for like a minute and then plug the battery back in. So I'm like, okay, cool. Here's the dilemma. The battery terminals where you would unplug them are in the hatch in the back. You can't disengage the hatch without the battery.
Lol.
Because when the system shuts down, there's no manual override for the hatch in the back. I can't pop it open without there being power. So in order for me to reset the power, I can't get to it. Like,
Man, this is some serious spaceship bullshit, and I love it. Like, it sucks you had to go through it, but man, this is pretty fucking cool. Like, knowing that you're safe and alive and all that, Jess, I'm sure it was terrifying when it was happening. At least, like, mild, like, deeply unsettling. But, like, this is genuinely kind of some cool shit to hear.
Yeah, it was kind of trippy. Like, afterwards, I'm like, that's kind of cool, but at the moment, I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. I just got a full
What
tank of
happened
gas.
when your car lost rear deflector shields?
The Klingons came and
Yes!
scratched my bumper. So, but yeah, no, it was just crazy. So, luckily though, they do have these like, so the tow truck guy shows up, and he puts you're able to jump the car with these like wires they run from the trunk to the front of the car. So you can they have these little like terminal lines you can plug into. So
Yeah.
I got that, and it's enough to disengage the hatch in the back or the trunk lid or whatever. And then I unplugged the battery, and he takes off the terminal. We wait about 30 seconds and then kick it back on. So it was like, okay, well, it looks like the battery on it's dead. So, as long as the car is jump started right now, I should be all right. Eventually, I ended up taking it to the dealer, and the battery was completely fucking dead. And my car currently has about 36,500 miles on it or something like that.
Mm.
The warranty on the battery system was done at 36,000 miles. I was literally a few miles over.
Mm.
So that's actually wonderful fucking design. Actually, no, I scratch it. Take that back. The warranty expired at 36,500. I'm at 36,600 something. So
Wow.
yeah, literally
Lucky.
fucking died shortly after. So the engineers are top notch because planned obsolescence is a real fucking thing.
Yeah.
So at least that's my conspiracy theory now with this one. So
did like a Titanfall pilot jump on your car and pull the battery out to cause this to happen, or
did a what?
I'm just making bad video game jokes at this point about batteries.
Yeah. So I got the battery replaced $300 later, which was nice. Yeah. So now I'm like, well, the lease is up soon. I can get rid of this. And I was a little panicky at first because the way leases work is you have to return them to the dealership you bought them from. The only thing is, I moved 1,000 miles away from the dealership I bought it from.
Well, thank God you're coming into town for my wedding next week.
Mm.
Well, I'm flying.
I know.
But, yeah, no, I have to figure out I have to figure out some other method, but I know from what I was reading is if you move a significant distance, Chevy will find a dealership nearby to take the car off. So, but I'm going to CarMax it sooner, probably. Get rid of it.
Yeah, may I recommend owning your cars, actually, if you can afford to.
Huh?
May I recommend owning your car if possible?
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do a purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put anything you want on that car, like a sweet ass spoiler and a sweet ass spoiler.
Well, see, that's the other thing too. I wouldn't really do that much. Like, I'm looking at getting the freaking Impreza Sport, which is just as the Crosstrek with a lower suspension and not a lot of power, but it's nice and all-wheel drive.
Sure. We are not a car podcast. We have to move on.
I know. But yeah, so I figured I'd share that little fun story of just watching everything
battery thing is fucking
systemically
nuts.
fucking fail.
That is some Star Citizen / Elite Dangerous bullshit of like the core has been breached, critical systems going
It's literally
down.
what it felt like.
Yeah,
it was because oh yeah, no, your transmission's dead. Oh, here, let me just put on the emergency brake. Oh, you want to use the emergency brake?
Is
emergency
failing.
brake system's down. Failed.
I'm sorry, Captain. We've lost auxiliary power to all non-major systems. Major systems defined as brakes, windshield wipers, life support. What?
If you want to hear the biggest fuck you in that low power mode, the Bluetooth to the car still works, but the speakers don't.
That's amazing.
My car actively maintained a connection to Bluetooth to the fucking system, but the speakers did not fucking work. You want to talk about shit tier design?
Well, that's because Bluetooth is actually a sacred Viking rune that gives cars power, but yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, I figured you would enjoy that little tidbit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised I didn't share that with you because that happened the day I was supposed to drive my parents and my family back to the airport.
Ah.
So, yeah, that was a little bit ago, but I figured since I brought up the car, now would be the time to share that wonderful adventure.
Oh, sure.
So, other than that, I really didn't move much other than get ready for Charlie's wedding next week. So,
yeah, we've alluded to it. We will not be doing a podcast next week. I'll repeat this at the end because wedding happening, and my life next weekend is going to be hectic as hell, and people are going to be all kinds of weird places, and yeah.
Well, my understanding was we were going to do a live podcast recording.
We might try and still do that, but Jen's family actually wants to meet me after we get married and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, and that's on Sunday, and I'm like, can I ditch your family? Go, no, I probably shouldn't even ask that question. That's probably a great way to start off a wedding on a marriage on a bad foot, where it's like, hey, spend all this money, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends who we do a weird podcast with. We'll see what winds up happening, but it's shaping up to not be that, I think.
Probably the only things that's going to happen is we're going to take pictures together.
Probably. And Jeff may wind up in a stranglehold for a video.
Yeah.
As often happens. Someone else can strangle him this time and ask him why there's no podcast this week.
Yeah, that's it for me. Are we going to dive into our adventure? Or
I think that means it's news time.
Hold on. This is a special occasion because there's some fun stuff.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get some Red Bull in my system.
Oh, good God.
I'm going to need it. I got a second one here on standby. I need all the caffeine because if I need to irritate my stomach a lot, because we're going to shit on somebody today.
All right, so we're going to start off this week with the big elephant in the room, if you will. It's been dominating most news cycles on many gaming sites. I'm sure everyone's talked about this, or will be talking about this sooner rather than later when it made it to real news, all that jazz. And of course I am talking about the new World of Warcraft Fox race that's coming in the next expansion.
Fuck yeah. Furry Shaman, I'm in.
Explain these fucking foxes to me, Alex.
Okay, so the
Volterra, I don't think existed previously.
So they actually were released as part of one of the new races in...
Sure.
WoW currently?
Cool.
And they help out the Horde as part of a quest line in a desert area. And a lot of people were thinking they're going to be turned into a playable race the way the assets were added into the game through patches. And it's confirmed. So you get to play as a fox. And the dance it does is from What Does the Fox Say? So.
Yes, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Alliance are getting the mecha gnomes. So you get gnomes that have been partially transformed into robotic parts and stuff. So that part's kind of cool.
But this all fails in comparison to the real Blizzard news this week, which, if you've not heard about it this week, kudos to that rock you're hiding under. That's impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's an impressive-ass rock you found. So this one's a doozy. It's got lots of facets to it and literally managed to span an entire week, not just the outrage of it. And it starts off relatively simple to explain and kind of snowballs from there. And it was as part of... it wasn't international. It was just a grand finals tournament for Hearthstone, right?
It was a Grandmasters. Their Grandmasters tournament.
What's it? Blitzchung, the player. I'm getting the name
Yes.
right? Yeah. Blitzchung kind of innocently said as part of his finals speech, Free Hong Kong, revolution of our time.
Yep.
And then shit went sideways. So to summarize kind of the initial events pretty quickly, Blizzard then proceeded to yank Blitzchung's winnings, ban him from Grandmasters competition for a year, and the two casters that were interviewing the guy at the time also proceeded to get fired.
Yeah, fired and banned from any future events.
Yep.
And
so
that would have been bad enough on its face. Like, that's a simple situation that looks shitty and does not paint Blizzard in the best light. It's what happens next, and after that, and after that, and after that.
Yeah.
That makes this kind of our big heavy hitter this week, if not like for the year kind of thing. Like I find it hard to believe. Like we've had some like big fuck ups this year.
Yeah.
But this one like dwarfs all of them because it managed to jump out of just video gamer bullshit into larger discussions and stuff. And
oh yeah,
as our resident kind of social activist, Henry, try and lead us through this as best you can because it takes some turns that not even I was capable of following. I think you were much more kind of tracking every aspect.
I think combined, we have some good knowledge on this one.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're not knowledgeable,
Yeah.
just I think Henry's kept up with every kind of twist and turn of it better than we have.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, I mean, all right, so I want to give a little bit of background about what's been going on in China and Hong Kong and what this, what all of it means. And so, just very quickly. So, if you weren't aware, if you're listening and you aren't aware, and you maybe have become aware because of this situation.
And we've talked about this multiple times in the podcast, I think, by now,
yes.
too, at least alluded to it.
Yeah, and so there have been a series of, an ongoing series of protests, pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. It's initially started because of a new law they had put forth because essentially Hong Kong and China have been sort of a, one country, two systems thing, where they were allowing Hong Kong to be mostly autonomous but still under Chinese rule. This is after, around, back 18 years ago, whenever the transition was taking place.
To put in perspective how long these protests have been going on, they started back in March. We are recording this podcast in October.
Yeah, and so they've been going on for a while, but it was spurred on, this new wave of protests were on by this new law, this extradition law, which would allow people to be extradited from Hong Kong into China, which is kind of breaking that sort of two systems idea. And so what's come out of it is, a series of protests. There's also a couple of things, such as the 8 words that Blitzchung said, which as you said, that was, liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times. Mm-hmm. I mean, and as well as there's another one that's 5 demands, not one less, and which is also related to it. And so, so that's what's been going on. There's also other horrible things that have been going on. Just look up what's been going on with the Uyghurs. I don't want to go into that, but this one was specifically about the pro-democracy protests. And so, they've been cracking down on them hard, like very hard, military hard. Like they brought out live ammo recently to deal with, to crack down on the protests. So, it's entered a very dark era already. So just doing this was just seen as, obviously China said, that was, some Chinese authority said, no, that can't, we can't allow that, that's not allowed. Because there's also something called social credit system that they have in China, and that's a whole thing of itself as well.
Some crazy Black Mirror bullshit.
Yeah, literally, they made a Black Mirror episode on that, so.
Yeah, no, just to kind of give you some context on that one, the system that they talk about for the social system will affect your ability to get loans, rent, and pretty much live.
Even travel inside the country via plane.
Yeah, even traveling inside the country, yeah.
Passports, it affects all of it. So
yeah, and so so that's the thing. They came down hard, and the thing is, their main response was deafening silence. Also, they went nuts on censoring the Reddits. Oh wow, they went crazy all over Reddit. Like the mods just started they switched switched Hearthstone to private, and they named Blizzard.
It was the Blizzard subreddit. It was the Blizzard subreddit.
It was the main Blizzard subreddit that was censored to private. And then afterwards, and this is going on now, they've limited all protest stuff only is allowed in 2 mega threads. Because obviously they don't want all the threads dominated by loads and loads of protest stuff, so they're just literally deleting any thread. They put it on approval only mode as well, which means that means mods have to approve a post before it's even posted. And so what they've done is they just haven't approved anything. and they say just go post in the mega thread. And so that's some heavy-handed bullshit. So in an attempt to sort of see if, I think this is a very good experiment. And so there's another Hearthstone tournament, and that one was a university tournament. And so the team from American University decided to hold up a pro Hong Kong boycott Blizzard sign and to see what would happen. And as expected, as we all actually expected because we're not idiots, nothing happened to them. No punishment. They did cut away from them. They did cut the feed of them whenever they were on screen. So I mean, they did attempt to censor it initially, but they didn't punish them. See, that's the difference. It was one thing if it would just been like, we'll just not show that. But these students didn't get punished at all by Blizzard. Blizzard has still done nothing to them, and so they've decided to drop out of the tournament anyways. They have talked to a couple of, they've talked to Vice about it, and it just shows that, obviously this was done not because the person, not even just because the person held up a sign, because that person, the Blitzchung actually happens to be Chinese. He's based in Hong Kong. So, and I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and in his interviews, Blitzchung has even straight up said, I knew something would happen, that there would be consequences, but I couldn't stay silent about this. I couldn't just do nothing here because it's so important. And it is. It's absolutely super important. And so, that's the thing. It's like Blizzard has not been helped, as just even to start with, we're already showing that they were completely hypocritical on this. So, anybody else want to take over for a second?
Yeah, okay. So, just to kind of add some extra flavor to what's going on with it. So, the Blizzard subreddit specifically is actually originally created and run by Blizzard employees, or Blizzard PR and all that stuff, so to speak. I know for sure they're Blizzard employees. Now, that's perfectly allowed on Reddit's policies as long as you disclose that you are, in fact, an employee of that company. So you have subreddits that are run by the companies, and that's perfectly fine. That's the reason why the Blizzard subreddit shut itself down, but Hearthstone, Classic WoW, and all the other ones are still up and running. As far as mega threads go, that's fairly common. With stuff, especially when stuff gets posted in politics and things like that they make a mega thread. It is questionable, I will say for sure, but I have seen it done before, and it's not something exclusive to what happened with the Blizzard drama right now.
No, it's not exclusive, it's just shitty.
It is very shitty. No, I'll agree with you on that one. So, it wouldn't be such a, so here's the weird thing about it. So, Blizzard did put out saying, hey, this is what's happening to Blitzchung originally. He's banned from, I think, a year of gaming. A year of competition.
They took away a year's worth of winnings as well.
Yeah, year's worth of winnings. He's banned for a year, and he's removed from the Grandmasters tournament kind of thing. The two guys got fired.
The whole circuit, the Grandmasters circuit as a whole.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that is that's what they put out in the U.S., right? Now, there's another problem because people found a post in the, I guess it's called Weibo, which is the social media kind of posting Twitter-esque platform in China.
Yes.
And the official Hearthstone Blizzard account in there actually was a lot more heavy-handed in terms of what they said, and specifically made it a political thing because they said they will always protect the honor of the country, according to the post. Actually, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it had to be translated, and so, but multiple people have translated, to see if there's any sort of, weirdness with one or the other translations. Nope. That's pretty much what it says.
Yeah.
It says,
Let me, I actually have the quote that was translated, because it been translated a few times, but for the most part, this seems kind of the thing here. So it says, we express our strong indignation or resentment in commendation of the events that occurred at the Hearthstone Asia Pacific competition last weekend, and absolutely oppose the dissemination of personal political ideas during any events or games. The players involved will be banned. Commentators involved will be immediately terminated from any official business. Also, we will protect or safeguard our national dignity or honor, is kind of what they're saying out there. So that was the official Blizzard Hearthstone account on Weibo, which sounds a lot fucking different from the message they posted to the US and English channels. So, really fucking suspect. Now, upon further research, I found that it looks like the Weibo channel is actually run by the Tencent part of Blizzard.
No, NetEase.
NetEase, sorry. Yeah. I'm so confused with Tencent, but yeah, it's NetEase.
It is NetEase.
So
that's people
Tencent
developing
owns
that Blizzard, not Blizzard, that Diablo mobile game.
The copy and pasting their old game into Blizzard things?
But
totally different.
Also, NetEase is how World of Warcraft runs in China too. It's through NetEase.
Yeah.
So that's they are a partner to Blizzard. That's why they're running this official Hearthstone account. So
yeah. So this is why it's really fucking questionable that they would say that it's not a political stance thing when their fucking account over there had no problem saying this is all we're protecting the dignity of the country kind of scenario, which is I think really added fuel to the fire even more. So
it also, and that's sorry, go on.
No. So where are we in the timeline now? I know we've been saying a lot right now.
We're still pretty early on.
I do want to talk about really quickly the fact that, and you brought that up, it'll go a little bit about the interviewers, the two interviewers who are from Taiwan. And if you're not aware, Taiwan is also, I'm talking to listeners in general, Taiwan is a massive point of big debate because Taiwan has been running independent for a long time now. But China says, no, Taiwan's a part of China. And so that is an on-running thing. And the fact that the two casters, the two interviewers, are from Taiwan and they got super banned too, that's also like they're sending a message to Taiwan too. Because, and let's just say that lots of companies in the US have been bowing down to sort of even the idea of that it's not Taiwan, it's Chinese Taipei. So if you ever hear the term Chinese Taipei, that's because somebody is basically bowing to China on their demand that Taiwan isn't officially a country. Taiwan is a country. It's an independent country. And but you'll see this around a lot. Lots of entities will, even on TV, you'll see them refer to Chinese Taipei and not Taiwan. And that's another kind of thread into this as well, because they punished even the casters. Whereas in the American University thing, nobody got punished. The interviewers and casters didn't get punished. The students didn't get punished. Nobody got punished. But also the students have also decided to drop out of that tournament anyways, because they're like, well, you didn't punish us, we proved a point, but also we can't really continue running this tournament with what has gone down.
So we have to rewind for a second, actually cover a somewhat important part of this most ridiculous story now.
Yes.
So, the justification from Blizzard on this one relates back to a rule Blizzard has in place that essentially states that Blizzard can, kind of without really justifying it, step in and have disciplinary actions against people that... What's the exact wording on this one? It's
super vague.
Yeah,
it is purposely super vague. If you basically do anything to harm any group in any way, or just to harm the image of Blizzard in any way, they can punish you.
Yeah.
But it's so purposely super vague.
And I'm having a hard time remembering it because, as Henry's saying, it is so intentionally open-ended. And a lot of people have historically interpreted this to be like, if you got on Twitch or something, or were kind of just going on about white supremacy bullshit or something, then Blizzard could step in and be like, fuck you. But this is kind of the first major instance, at least people are generally aware of, of it being used to, and to turn this into a free speech debate for a second too. Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want within reason, kind of thing. Like, there are certain rules, like don't yell fire in a movie theater, but you are a victim of consequence. And there's an argument to be made that Blizzard has every right to step in and say, we don't want you voicing political opinions on our platform. The issue is that it seems to only apply in certain circumstances, and the way this rule is written is that it seemed to kind of indicate, it's like it's the, no, you can be political, just don't be, like, bad political, if that makes any sense.
Or be political, well, essentially, it's not even be political. It's so vague as to be,
don't be a heel.
We can just selectively do anything we want at any point. Like I said, the American university students who held up a pro-Hong Kong sign, pro-democracy protest sign, as well as, it also said, boycott Blizzard, they didn't get punished at all.
Yeah.
Zero. Absolutely nothing.
And there may also be an aspect of that was after kind of the shit hit the fan, and disciplinary action against them would just have added more fuel to the fire, but
I'm saying if they wanted to play consistency, that's the thing. That's what they proved. That's why they did it. That's why the students did it. They wanted to see, all right, are they going to be actually consistent on this, or are they going to prove that they are just being shills for the CCP? So, and we got our answer.
Yep.
So
we're only on day 2 so far of
that's why I think we have to take a
storm.
step back though and just cover that, because it's a big kind of hinge point for a bunch of this whole ongoing story.
So,
but go ahead. Yeah.
So okay, so let's see where else we are in the timeline right now. So we have radio silence for a long fucking time from Blizzard as far as like a follow-up to all the shit going on. And needless to say, you have tons of people who are really fucking upset about it, to the point where there were umbrella protests at Blizzard headquarters by Blizzard employees.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who don't know, umbrella protests specifically have a tie to Hong Kong, because I believe it was in the 90s.
And currently, like you said, blocks tear gas.
Yeah, so they've had tear gas fired at them, and so what they've used is umbrellas to kind of protect themselves. But it's been a symbol of kind of like protesting in Hong Kong since I believe the 90s. I could be wrong. If you guys want to verify that one on me,
I don't know on the going back to the 90s. I know it's part of the protest now because of the tear gas.
It's either the 90s or early 2000s.
Early 2000s, because that's after the handover happened.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense.
So that'll be it then. Yeah. So you have that. Plus, so for those of you who don't know, Blizzard headquarters has a giant fucking orc statue of an orc riding a wolf, and it's surrounded by runes, and the runes each have the company's like message or motto or things, the values that they represent. And 2 of them in particular that people have actually called them out on were Think Globally, and I believe Every Voice Matters.
That's them.
Yeah. So the employees decided to cover those up with, loose leaf paper, basically saying you guys don't represent these values anymore. Which is actually also very fitting, because I found out that this Blizzard statue is right outside the view of the executive offices at Blizzard. So they can see all of that if they looked out the window. So, So all this stuff goes on. You have the U.S. team that did the Hong Kong protest who didn't get reprimanded at all. And it's just radio silence for a few days and didn't say a fucking thing. And then finally...
Well, actually, let's go into some more things that happened before they finally got to Friday.
Okay.
So, I mean, all right, so you have not 1 but 2 major Hearthstone casters quitting, like straight up saying, we can't do this in good faith. So you have Brian Kibler, who was I think he's the one that was a former Magic the Gathering player, or that might have been the other one. In any case, he's been a face of Hearthstone casting, like a major one. And he said, I'm not going to be in the next tournament, period. And he hasn't gone back on that. He also wrote a pretty lengthy tweet longer about it. And so you can check that out. And it's nuanced and it's thoughtful. And yeah, I mean, it was obviously not an easy decision because this has been his life, and that's why, like, all right, so, but yeah, also Nathan, that's Admirable Zamora, has done the same, who has been a caster along with him. There again, another major face of Hearthstone. Caster has said, no, I can't do the next one in good faith either, and so that's and a part of that was in unity with the two Taiwanese casters who got straight up fired. One of them in tears, like heartbreakingly just shattered, absolutely shattered. So, I mean, so there's already some unity, I mean, among even the casters because of what happened, how heavy-handed this was, and how ridiculously heavy-handed this was. And so yeah, so that happened. You also have if you aren't familiar with who this is, Mark Kern is a former employee of Blizzard. I'm not honestly a big fan of him. He's a gamer gator and he's a edgelord, kind of says PC and SJW unironically, so I'm like, but whatever. But he had a long form interview that was streamed live. So I mean, so you got to hear straight up what he thought, and he had some pretty interesting stuff to say. Actually, you can find it online. They did like do a VOD of it, so you can find it on YouTube. But he makes some pretty cool points on it because he's like, I used to work there. I know kind of how things move for the most part, at least up to when I left, and how things go through there, as well as like as the new CEO of my own company, you know, how I would be responding in a similar controversy. I mean, so, well, one thing he has done, he said, no, I'm 100% support of the Hong Kong protests. I know that's going to ruin me for my contacts in China and my funding from China, any funding that I might get from China. So that's ruined. But, you know, I'm willing to take that chance. But it's also, I'm the CEO of a smaller company and I can afford to do that. I can kind of say what I want. And so, but I think if you want to see some other kind of interesting takes from somebody that used to be a part of Blizzard on that interview is worth a listen. I was watching in real time. And that actually happened on Friday, but he started tweeting about it almost as soon as it happened, because it's like he does still like Blizzard. He doesn't have anything really against Blizzard. It's like disappointed dad. That's a really big part of his take, is like, God, what have you done? Like, what are you doing? How did you get this far away from where you used to be when even I was still there? So, I mean, that's the thing. So you have a lot of internet unity, creative protests. May has become the new symbol of the resistance. So people have been like basically making fan art of May with symbols of the Hong Kong protests, like with the umbrella, with the goggles, with the bandage over one eye, and so that's even more of a deep dive there. So you'd have to look. It's because of an injury that has happened there, and so with a bandage over one eye we're holding pro Hong Kong signs because they're trying to see if they can get Overwatch banned in China, which, you know, it's like, well, you know, you made this move, so we're just going to screw over one of your sources of income in China and get Overwatch banned.
Well, what's even more interesting about the Overwatch thing is Tracer and 76 aren't gay in China.
Nope. Yeah.
So when Blizzard puts out that, oh, hey, this character's gay, they're not doing it because it means anything to the actual character. They're doing it because they're fucking trying to, like, just get good credits or good chits as they're trying to cash in on, because it really meant something for the character would be like that across the board, but in China they're not. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So May is also alright, so this is something that may or may not be this one is hard to, I almost don't want to mention it, but the statue pre-order on both Entertainment Earth and Blizzard Store for the new May statue is gone. It's not online now.
Yep.
They removed that. So I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes they do that when something sells out, like they'll just remove it. But it seems like they've just completely removed it. Like, it's not, you can't access it anymore at all. So that happened. In other news, a related thing, a Canadian May cosplayer has gotten fully funded. She's going to be coming to a protest. So, so she'll be there. And so, I think I've covered a lot of what I was going to cover before Friday.
Oh, wait, there's a few more things for leading up to Friday. Okay,
all right, please.
So we talked about the cosplay. Okay, so we talked about the May thing. We've talked about the shoutcasters who said they've left. So now there's also a huge wave of people trying to cancel or just canceling their WoW subscriptions and things like that, or just flat out trying to delete their accounts. So apparently,
before you go down this, that was, I guess, proven to not necessarily be blocked, but man, was it suspicious.
Yeah, it seemed like it could have been more of a thing of like their servers were overloaded with people trying to delete their accounts, because I ran into that too. I couldn't use any of the other methods for a long time, and then all of a sudden I could. So all right, but so essentially the thing was, it seemed like they had taken as you're about to say, sorry, but go ahead and say.
So there were suspicions that you were unable to delete your accounts entirely. And they were preventing you from doing so, where people were getting locked out after trying to do like the SMS protect to authenticate your account, was getting locked out after the first attempt. And they were requiring people to send picture ID in order to confirm things shutting down, kind of thing. And even then, for some people, that was failing. Even the ID upload. And I think, Henry, you tried to delete your account. I think just flat out close everything out, right?
Yep, and it failed the first time.
So,
but I put it through again after apparently they either returned functionality after taking away, or maybe it was actually just being like completely overwhelmed with people like me who are trying to delete their accounts. Yeah, I am deleting.
What may have happened was people may have accidentally caused a DDoS attack, kind of thing. Like that. That's a very plausible situation.
Yeah.
So we can't say one way or the other on that one.
But it is worth mentioning the fact that for a little while there was the rumor circulating that they were actively blocking it. Like, we can't prove one way or the other, but it sure seemed like they were blocking it. But kind of signs are now pointing towards probably not. But like, I think it's it's at least good kind of flavor to kind of where things were at.
And how people felt about things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I have deleted my own. I have deleted my account. I have set fire to I only had a couple of games on there, but I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to send them a message that I'm never buying from Blizzard again, ever. That's done. I am completely done.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, when you delete your account, you do like get rid of unlike Gods Unchained, you once you delete your account, you don't have access to those games anymore, so it is like they take away your game, which, by the way, side note, fuck you, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Point of sale doctrine should be the thing. Point of sale doctrine should be the thing. See, the thing is like, I shouldn't, like, it's like they came into my house and took the game from me. But you know what? I'm willing to do that just because in every way I want to send them a resounding fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
Oh, go ahead.
But it sucks that I've lost the money that I've spent, because that's how they punish you. See, that's how they were trying to prevent people from ever deleting their account. They're like, well, if you delete your account, we take away everything you've ever bought. So what kind of sense, think about that. Think about that for a second. How would you feel if literally you're sitting at home and somebody like took your shoes because you said, or took your jacket? It's like, let's say you decide, I don't like the people who made this jacket. And then they break into your house and take your jacket away from you. What sense does that make? Fuck you, Blizzard.
Let's steer a little bit back on course, because that's...
Yeah.
That one's the thought, I think, is applicable. I think it's a...
Yeah,
it's a bit of a not fair comparison, but yes, and we have far more of this to get through still.
Yeah. So before the big Friday wonderful event there, you had some other people speaking out about the whole thing. In particular, just to really throw in there, Gods Unchained, which is something that Henry mentioned here, they actually put out a message saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and give Blitzchung the money he was supposed to be owed from the tournament and cover his fee and I think his flight to a bigger tournament.
Yep.
To their tournament.
To their tournament, yes.
Yeah. So that's one thing. And then I have to do this particular part of the news bit because I think this is a little bit of like, what is that German word for Schadenfreude for Charlie, but epic good?
Yeah, I did enjoy this part where I'm like,
yes. So I gotta say, epic good. So Tim Sweeney, they put out there saying, so what's going to happen with some of these other developers? And Tim Sweeney, the guy who owns 60% of the controlling power of Epic, decided to say we will never ban any content creator or streamer from expressing their political opinions, whatever they may be. And then so somebody had said, well, 10 cent, is it 10 cent for that? Yeah, for them it's 10 cent. 10 cent owns 40% of the company, and he says, well, I own the majority share, and as long as I own the controlling share, that's not going to be a problem. Yeah. And I guess we did a little digging, and they're not publicly traded, are they?
No, they are still a private company, and it's also one of those things where Tim Sweeney is not just the controlling share owner. He's the CEO, controlling share owner, and like 2 or 3 other things that make ousting him actually incredibly difficult. So it's one of those ones where it's like, could Tencent find a way to oust him? Sure, but like it's far more unlikely it doesn't happen. And like it's one of those ones where it's Tencent's investment in Epic is more of an investment as opposed to an ownership kind of thing. Like the public versus privately traded company aspects of things make things weird. And when people are saying like, oh, they own 40% of Epic and only like 5% of Activision or Blizzard or whatever that thing breaks down to, it's like, yeah, except it's a different ownership because of how the companies are structured. And yeah, none of us have the degrees necessary to dig into the kind of the intricacies of the business aspects of these things. But like the example I would use, actually, remember back, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago now, back in the like pre-100s episodes of the Wicked Awesome Cast, I was having a lot of fun with the Vivendi slow seeming takeover of Ubisoft. Like,
the
Activision Blizzard situation is more akin to that than because Ubisoft is more publicly traded kind of thing. It is a larger company than Epic. Epic happens to make one of the world's largest games, but overall the actual studio and company is relatively small compared to other kind of big players in the industry. Whereas Epic is like, no, they have investment here and they have some sway, but yeah, Tim Sweeney can say that without like major fear of repercussions. I was going to say reprimand, but yeah, he's at least in this instance more or less kind of capable of actually saying that and enforcing it, as opposed to if someone at Blizzard said that, they'd probably get ousted within minutes.
Yeah.
So
he's got a lot more of a kind of control in that situation, and so I have to say that he can get away with that if that's the case. Because I thought, well, if it's a public traded company, they can easily just try to buy out more shares and take it all over and all that. But no, it's a private owned company, and he owns all that. Plus, he's basically he's kind of a big deal, is what he's trying to say in the long. Sum it up. So I gotta say, Epic good.
Yeah. But you know who's not good? Riot. Because of course they aren't fucking good.
Well, Riot dug their own grave on this one too. Like, this is my if you can have a favorite kind of part of this whole fucked up situation, the way Riot chose to handle it, I think, is my like, yeah, of course it's this. Like favorite's definitely the wrong word, but like if there's like one part of this I'm like gonna hold tight for the rest of my days, being like, this was the part I found most kind of hilarious of all of this in a truly Schadenfreude way, was Riot originally got out there being like, we're not censoring anything, and then we're like, just kidding, we are banning casters, and not just discouraging, like straight up like saying you cannot talk about this to casters, players and like generally across the board anything about Hong Kong and politics in general. And it's not, and like again, the way it's written is vague enough that it's kind of like it's not clear if a caster can even post about politics on their Twitter.
Yeah. So, yep. Way to be fucking garbage, Riot.
And not just Chinese-Hong Kong relations, just kind of like that stuff in general you can't talk about.
So
I think we covered everything leading up to Friday.
Yes, I believe
I
think so.
have.
Yeah, I think so.
At least all the important parts. I'm sure there's other small aspects we have missed there.
Yeah.
So, Henry, do you want to take us? You want to recap Friday for us?
Holy shit! All right, so Friday night. So that's, as you mentioned before, that's kind of a bullshit time to put something out because you're trying to miss the news cycle because most people will already be done for the week. And there aren't that. It's trying to skip a lot.
Wicked Awesome Cast recording on the weekends because of this bullshit.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. And so they finally put out an official statement, an official super cowardly, super sorry, but actually we're not literally sorry even the slightest. All right. So their statement was essentially all right. So in a nutshell, it's. We will always we do this thing, but we will lessen the punishments. And so, which is, by the way, that's a Weasley PR thing, and I can go into the psychology of why that often works on people. But in any case, I'll go into what they said.
The Cliff Note version. I think it's worth talking about in this instance, because it's absolutely oh shit, we did not expect this to go the way it did response.
All right, so essentially, it wasn't a complete mea culpa. As I said, it's not an apology. It's we have every right to do this, but we're going to reduce the bans of the ban of Blitzchung in particular. We're going to reduce that to 6 months, and we will give him the money. Which I have to say, the taking away the money part, that was the weirdest thing. That was the shittiest thing.
Yeah,
and so. I don't think. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, they don't. Okay, yeah, they did. Yeah, they also set the caster suspension to 6 months as well. Sorry, I had to recheck on that one. But so they've reduced all the bans to 6 months and are going to give him his money. But it's all right. So it spends the first paragraph talking about, all right, it's his normal PR thing, like we're about core values, think globally, lead responsibly, every voice matters. See, they even did those things in there, which is like, oh no, why? No.
If I may interject for a second, Henry, they're playing my favorite apology game, which is, we're not sorry, we're sorry we got caught.
Yes.
Yep.
And so they basically spend most of it just defending their decision. Ultimately, they signed up for this, and so we deserve to do whatever we want here, and they have a certain job to do and a certain way to be, and we'll uphold that. But you know what? The most Weasley thing, I want to be clear: our relationships in China had no influence on our decision. This is where we toss our heads back and laugh.
Guffaw.
Yeah.
Sensible chuckle.
Come the fuck
Comically
on.
evil laugh. Comically evil laugh.
Come the fuck on.
So,
come on. Alex, you mentioned the Weibo thing. I mean, that's it's totally about that, and also the American university students who decide to test that out as well. No, it's horse shit.
So just to kind of add to the... Well, go ahead and finish up, and then I'll throw in...
Can I add a conspiracy theory to this that I think is a very real aspect of this one?
Go ahead.
So, Blizzard is owned by Activision, as we've kind of established numerous times. Know what else is launching right now in China and is up for review?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Mobile.
Call of Duty Mobile. which we've kind of mentioned the fact that mobile works so well in China because...
So there is an aspect of this that people have theorized is that part of kind of the hard stance taken is because Activision is desperate for that game to take off in China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and get through the approval process, because fun fact about China's game industry, the government has to approve every game that shows up there, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing, too, about that is I guess somebody was running numbers and stuff like that, or trying to put together some napkin math for the numbers. The money that was made from other, so the United States makes up about 90% of what Blizzard makes. A good, I think that's rough estimate, but I want to say
no,
80,
it's not the U.S. only. Basically, I think it's a better thing to say 12% of their income comes from Asia in general.
Yeah,
but that includes Japan and Korea. Like when it comes to just China, it's around 7 to 8%.
I've heard somewhere between 5 and 7. So
yeah, 5 and 7.
Potentially at this point, they're appeasing their 5% market for potential growth in the mobile industry against their 90% consistent fixed income that they have right now. They're essentially trying to prioritize short-term potential profits over long-term consistent profits, which is stupid and so fitting of a lot of these companies nowadays, because they all think short-term window and nothing long-term sustainable. Right? Yeah.
It's that's the thing. It's like, and that's one of the reasons. And a quick side note about the reason why Hong Kong is so valuable. Chinese money is worth fucking nothing. It's like on the world market, it's bullshit. It's monopoly money. It's because the way that they've deal with their currency is in such a weird, heavy-handed and manipulative, even more manipulative than most countries, in that, they have to go through Hong Kong for there to be any value. That's one of the reasons why their stake is so low, because their money is monopoly money. It's worthless, like, if it's not traded through Hong Kong first. But, I think that's part of that reason. Yeah, their money is kind of worthless in the world market. So, but another thing I think is interesting is parts of this. This is conspiracy. This is conspiratorial. So I'm going to say that right now. This is completely conspiratorial. Parts of this read like it was not written by a first language speaker of English. That it was English as a second language, because they use a term that, one term in particular is weird and awkward. Prizing. That's not a thing that English speakers say. So so in particular, let's see. Yeah, in the tournament, it's all right. So even this whole sentence is awkward. In the tournament itself, Blitzchung played fair. We now believe he should receive his prizing. So that's awkwardly phrased, and there's awkwardly phrased stuff all through this. So this may not have been written entirely by Blizzard America. Well, I'm saying that straight up, some parts of this probably were written by authorities in the CCP.
Well, there's a good chance that all of it was just written by China, and they just put J. Allen Brack's name on it, and he just signed off on it, because I think, are we referring to the same guy who did the language breakdown, the one in the Twitter?
Yes.
So he does a big breakdown, and then people went back and looked at at J. Allen Brack's previous postings, and the language in that does not match up to his previous posts.
Oh, not even close. And like I said, things are phrased. I mean, all right. So another full disclosure: I have been a English as a second language teacher, for years actually, and so I'm familiar with how going from one language to another, even with myself speaking Japanese and Korean as second languages, is my phrasing is often weird. Straight up, I can't, it's hard to avoid. And then for the people that I've taught, it's sometimes hard for them to get around weird phrasing because of the way the grammar and wording and just everything works. as well as vocabulary. And so there's just large parts of this. Also, this was put out, I mean, it was put out on the 11th, but the date on the thing says 12th. You know where it was already the 12th? China. So that's also suspect. So yeah, there's just all sorts of things about this that were complete and utter bullshit. Very, very highly likely put out, if not by the CCP, probably by NetEase or Tencent.
Yeah, would not fucking surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So,
but holy crap! What a horrible tone deaf. We're actually not even going to say we're sorry. We're not sorry for anything. We can do whatever we want. This was a message of we can literally do whatever we want. Ha ha. That's because we can do what we want. Yeah, suck it.
So
that was their response.
Yeah. So there's a couple things to throw in here as well. BlizzCon is in a few weeks. And a lot of people are suspecting they're purposely not trying to say as much as possible to hope it dies down. And
I've never been this excited for BlizzCon in my entire life.
I am fucking stoked. Now.
Oh, this dude sitting here, this dude is going down to protest. And I'm making my own May costume to do it.
Nice. Gender bend.
I still think you should go as the robot just to fuck with people, but I get the point though too. That's not the point.
Yeah. So just to kind of put this out there, I did already have the Blizzard thing purchased for BlizzCon. I'm gonna keep it because I want to watch this fucking train wreck.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've already bought it.
Yeah,
there again, like I said, point of sale, man. You bought it, you own it. You should get to keep it, and yeah, and also, yeah, go on, please.
Yeah. So I look forward to seeing how many QAs are canceled. Because I'm going to watch as much of it as I can live, and then see if they edit the VODs later on. So I look forward to tracking all of that stuff when BlizzCon happens.
Do you think we'll get a new "Do you not own phones" out of this?
Oh, absolutely. And that's assuming, like, I don't know. Like, they already have so much to deal with. I think not having phones is the least of your fucking worries kind of situation. There's so much more that's already built up even prior.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. I think do you think we'll have another tone-deaf Blizzard moment that completely replaces Do You Not Have Phones?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much, yeah. They've already stepped in it. They continue to step in it hard, but go on.
Also, Charlie?
Yeah?
My WoW subscription ends December 16th.
Okay, so let us save this conversation for an email we have. We actually had a listener write in kind of asking specifically about like how to ethically play controversial games. This is an important conversation to have. I want to save it for then though, because I think it's an important kind of response to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well then, yeah. I think. Yeah, Blizzard being completely fucking tone deaf. I think
that's going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely predict that's going to be a thing.
Yep.
I imagine that they're just going to. Also, I imagine they're going to stop obvious protesters that have tickets at the door and not allow them in. I think that's going to happen.
I would love to see them try to justify that shit.
The thing is, because it won't be that many people, because let's just, be real.
Yeah.
Protesters in general, it's not necessarily a majority of the population that's into protesting, period. Like I said, I'm going to be down there, but I don't have a ticket to BlizzCon, and I'm not buying one because they're too expensive.
And I'd also argue that a bunch of people will probably view canceling their ordering as a protest of some kind at this point, too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think they will, because of the fact that they're like, oh, it's not going to be that many people, they're going to stop you at the door if you're wearing, like, May stuff or, like, pro-Hong Kong stuff or Winnie the Pooh stuff. By the way, Winnie the Pooh, also a protest
I want to see
symbol.
an entire Overwatch panel attended by nothing but Winnie the Poohs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I think they will. I might be completely wrong on this, but I honestly think that they're going to stop people at the door and say, no, you can't come in with that.
So I think in the interest of moving this along, because we do have some other stuff to get through, I think on this topic we can only wait and see. Like, what'll happen will happen, and we will definitely be talking about it when that happens because we love to cover BlizzCon.
Holy crap! Yeah.
So really quick before we get out there,
because we do have other fucked up shit to cover this week. Believe it or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Will we have a lot of protesters? Will we have a lot of protesters? Probably not. But you know what we will have a lot of at BlizzCon? Trolls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Never underestimate the power of gamers being willing to fucking troll the shit out of people or a company.
Oh yeah.
So
that's super, super, super gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna, like, anytime you let anybody near a microphone, something's gonna happen. It already has.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's with this, yeah.
Hence why I fucking love looking forward to this BlizzCon. So.
It feels like we're advertising for BlizzCon. We're not. We are genuinely excited to just see the potential dumpster fire go up. Like, as a connoisseur of dumpster fires, and if you're a longtime listener to this podcast, you are now too, just courtesy of us.
Yep.
We rarely get to look forward in the future and go, Harketh, what if that off in the distance? It be a dumpster fire of year specifying proportions, Captain. It's BlizzCon, isn't it? Yeah, it's BlizzCon. Ah, we shall light the skies for weeks with the blowback from that dumpster. I don't know why I did that, but it felt correct for the situation.
Okay. Moving on, maybe?
Let's move on to some happier, less controversial, building you up for a minute news. Rajang, however it's pronounced, one of the most infamous monsters of the Monster Hunter universe, has come to Monster Hunter World. And if you've not watched Rajang have the murder monkey, if you will, do his work, you owe it to yourself to try and track down some capitalizing on the popularity of Monster Hunter World's streamer and watch him just get his shit caved in by this beast. Murder Monkey is a long-standing kind of gateway. It's a rite of passage in the Monster Hunter world. As someone who's beaten him once and was then like, fuck it, I'm out of this franchise for a little bit, I'm really happy to see this come. The fact he's there in all his just like world-endingly evil glory is great. He's intimidating. He fucking beasts on shit. Like, apparently his turf wars are great. I am super happy about this. Like,
I'm watching one of his turf wars, and he literally tries to fucking snap the neck of this fucking thing.
Yeah, he breaks the horn off of one of the other more infamous animals, or other more infamous monsters in the canon universe. Like, Murder Monkey is, like, top-tier badass. Like, I will always love Devil Joe the Murder Pickle the most because he's Devil Joe, but, like, Murder Monkey beats on Devil Joe. Like, it pains me to say it, but like if you're ranking badasses of the Monster Hunter World monsters, Rajang's like right at the goddamn top. Like, there are very few things less greater than Rajang that aren't like big world bosses where it's like, yo, it's the size of a skyscraper. Like, this is kind of those one things where it's like dragon the size of a small mountain versus one really big ape boy. Who wins? Probably the ape boy, actually. Yeah,
holy shit, he looks fucking terrifying.
He is terrifying,
Holy shit. Like, I've played Monster Hunter, and the monsters on there don't freak me out.
Yeah.
This monster freaks me the fuck out.
He's coming for you, Alex. He's outside your window right now.
He's waving at you. Waving at you with the broken horn of another major monster.
He's across the street drinking some Stumptown coffee, holding a newspaper, just glaring at your window going, soon.
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm super excited about this. I was super excited when they announced this. Like, but it's one thing when they're like, okay, we're bringing this, and I'm like, okay, cool. Everything you've done so far has been real good. What will Rajang be like? Shows up. Yo, I'm a big deal. Okay, yeah, this is correct. This is what I wanted to see. People being fucking wrecked by him and terrified. Like, the level of he is wrecking shit and making people cry means I'm like, I should get back into Monster Hunter. I really should. Now I'm playing Destiny right now. Rajang's out there. Yeah, fucking Rajang's out there. I don't want to fuck with that shit again. Fuck you!
His fucking haymakers he's throwing out there is just fucking...
He will... I think he can now pick you up and, like, throw you around the zone.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Kind of keeping an R, building you up, but this is a little bit more serious. This was supposed to be the big news of this week because it's one part tragic and one part fucking ridiculous. But someone has robbed the Valve HQ. They were arrested. They made off with, I think it was like $40,000 worth of stuff. Nope, that's the wrong link. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, basically, about 440,000 worth
of games and all that jazz. And most importantly, they stole Gaben's minigun. Which, side note, Gabe Newell had a minigun? It's not a real minigun, is my impression. There's a picture from Forbes way back that has him posing with it. Apparently, the prop has just been
Is that the one from the Heavy in TF2?
Basically.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's not a real minigun. It's definitely a prop. You look at it; it is in every way a prop. Somebody lovingly welded this together. I can see the welding on it. It looks amazing. But yeah, that's gone, and that's or that got stolen anyway.
Yes, I believe it's all been recovered now at this point. But the perpetrator was one Sean Shaptuis. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that last name right. 32 years old, broke in. Stole some stuff, got arrested. He tried. The funniest part of this amongst all the stuff he stole, he then sold it to a GameStop for $335. $40,000 worth of games stolen,
which is so fitting because that sounds like a GameStop fucking trade right there.
Yeah, well done, idiot.
Yeah.
Was there meth involved? I feel like there's got to be some sort of narcotic.
The article I have doesn't say, but...
No, I don't see anything here.
Yeah.
But apparently this isn't the first thing he's done.
Yeah.
He stole a FedEx truck, among other things, so
I assume those fuckers are low-jacked, so that seems like a poor choice.
Oh, they are. I know they are low-jacked, so...
All right, now that we've got you back up, we're going to bring you back down again, though, with some more sad news. A bunch of details about the PS5 got out there. Suspiciously, just as a bunch of Sony Interactive layoffs were happening, it's not just executives leaving, real layoffs are happening. Was there an actual number on how many people were laid off as part of this?
It does not say yet, so dozens. I mean, but in the then that's just in the UK. As far as in the US, it's an unknown number.
Yeah.
So, yep.
But on that same topic, we have a tentative release date for the PS5, which will be holiday 2020. So next year you'll be seeing this. Kind of lining up with what most people thought. It appears to be the weird-ass console we were shown that's got that V thing in the center of it, which I am crazy excited for. No super confirmed tech specs just yet, but it seems powerful and comparable, and mostly it's just coming next year.
Yep.
All right, let's build you back up again. Another weird one. A new Brain Age is on its way to the Switch in Japan. It just got announced it's coming to the UK, the Europe territories, which means it's probably coming to the US. As someone who's getting older, I am super excited for a new Brain Age.
Yep.
Brain Age is a fun, non-threatening franchise.
It is. It's super cool.
Yeah.
I've also saw so at the GDQ, they've done a task of that, a tool-assisted speedrun of it, which is very entertaining. But the game itself, it's just fun to play.
For those unclear what Brain Age is, it's essentially kind of a mental exercise game. It's full of brain teasers and math and other stuff just to keep your brain in shape, if you will. And it's one of those kind of Nintendo things that feels very Nintendo. It's coming to the Switch. It's got a stylus needed for it. So we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just happy to see the return of Dr. how do you pronounce this one? Kawashima's?
What's that?
The talking head from
the creator
Dr.
of
Kawashima.
It. Yeah.
Who yells at you and makes you feel bad for being bad at brain stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, our last bad news of the week, sad news, bad news, whatever you want to qualify kind of this stuff as.
Yeah.
This one's not directly gaming related, but because it is peripherally related enough, we have to talk about it. Another shooting happened, and Twitch streamed it to over 2,000 people. This is not quite as... the shooting was not as kind of tragic as the one in Melbourne. Not Melbourne's in no, not Melbourne. The one in God, I can't remember the country now. North of Australia.
You're talking about New Zealand.
New Zealand, yes. Thank you. God, I feel like an asshole now. Body count was way lower for this one, but still, it made the rounds on Twitch. Like, it wasn't featured and stuff like that, but still, it got around and took quite a time. It took a while for Twitch to actually realize it was even happening again, kind of thing.
Yeah. That's, which is, and I have to say on Twitch's part, it's like, at this point, there are thousands of streams going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And they have to rely on people to report this stuff early for them to catch it. Because if not, they don't have enough employees to watch every single stream and monitor that.
Yep.
But they do have employees that are actively monitoring on if something comes through like this is something that can't be on, they try to get it on it pretty quickly.
And so this is kind of, we're only bringing this up because in kind of a weird twist of things this week, there's been this topic of was YouTube and Twitch a mistake? Like there's been some other stuff written about it recently, like has the rise of kind of Twitch and YouTube stars led to just an overall negative impact on things? And it's weird to say, but I think in a weird kind of coming to a head moment, PewDiePie got out there this week and talked about kind of whether or not he thinks YouTube was a good thing at this point in time, which is fantastically tone deaf. Like, he's aware of kind of the problems he's caused and like the impact he's had, but also it's one of those things where it's like, dude, you've made a shit ton of money, especially early on, kind of making poorly edited, poorly produced videos is the most kind of living the dream thing possible, and to get out there after you're financially sound for the rest of multiple lives, potentially, kind of situation, being like, yeah, maybe this was actually bad in the grand spectrum of things, is just masterfully tone deaf, but also really does speak to, yeah, this maybe is a bigger problem than we're giving it credit for. Like, it ties back into the idea of kind of the, like, if you think of YouTube as not a social media, what is it? It's definitely one, because it has this farther reaching impact on people's psyche. Like, you find yourself in a kind of one-upsmanship with other people based on just, like, things you have no control over necessarily. Like, and it's got busted algorithms and weird monetization and favorable treatment, and yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to come out and sort of say, essentially, like, I mean, in my view, I do have nuance to my view, but I see the internet in general as nothing more than a tool. It is not moral or immoral in itself. Like, it is all up to how people use it. And I don't think there's any intrinsic to YouTube in particular, specifically YouTube, or any other video sharing platform like Vimeo or whatnot. I don't think there's anything intrinsic to them that is harmful. I think what's happened is it's just being utilized by humans, and so it's going to be vulnerable to human psychology and how human psychology can be manipulated. I mean, the things that are happening on there are things that have been happening through all out history, such as the manufacturing of consent and the manufacturing of authenticity. I mean, manufacturing of authenticity, that's literally, all these, all these shows, all the supposedly reality TV shows, that's manufacturing on authenticity. And they've done that forever. I mean, that's PR. Now, maybe it's on a wider scale than it's been on before, but it's nothing that we didn't have before. So, I guess that's maybe the argument, that because it's on such a wide and easily accessible scale and easily usable scale, that is, everybody has access to use it. It's almost like a chicken and an egg thing. It's like, is it the thing that's driving people to do more just self-destructive things or negative society things, or is it just reflecting what people would have done already? Yeah, just maybe not on the same scale.
There's an argument to be made for the visibility aspect of it, where you're giving people an outlet that's free and easily accessible.
Yeah, and the thing is, I see so much good coming out of it, out of the internet in particular, or the internet in general, and even out of YouTube. I mean, I'm seeing so many voices, important voices, getting heard that hadn't been heard before. I mean, like, people have been utilizing it, groups, like LGBTQ+, are getting visibility on there that they never would have gotten before. People are having access to see other people, even if it's manufactured authenticity, and if it's not totally real in a certain sense. They're seeing things. They're seeing people from around the world. I feel like that's been having a good socializing influence. That is, people saying, "Oh, that person over there in in that country, in Jordan. Oh, that's a real flesh and blood person. That person over there in Zimbabwe. Oh, that's a real person. It's like I think that's helped to. That's a part of actually helping to humanize rather than dehumanize.
And like to kind of link it back to our big main topic this week, which we haven't done in a long time. Like, the world would have not known about, like, would the whole kind of Blizzard situation have happened without the concept of live streaming? Who knows? But 100%, the rest of the world wouldn't have known about it if it hadn't been for those outlets.
Nope. And the internet in general, and streaming in particular.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, like, we would never have heard it. Like, it would have just been it would have just been a silencing, a censorship silencing, and we would never have known. Just as we have never, we aren't aware of a lot of stuff that happens in other countries that's not broadcasted. So, that's the thing. It's like, I don't like to be cliche, but, double-edged sword, it's a tool. And it's a tool that can be utilized in many different ways, and I think there is a longer conversation to be had about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, we're done with our downer stuff for the time being. We got two more kind of fun ones, or at least ironically fun ones. Next up, this one is specifically for Alex, and in some ways I think will hurt him the most. Ubisoft got out there and announced that they're making some TV shows, specifically animations, for some of their more kind of beloved franchises. We're talking Rayman, etc., etc. But most importantly of which is Blood Dragon. Alex, would you watch a Blood Dragon cartoon?
Would I watch a Blood Dragon cartoon? Maybe. But
what if I told you it was aimed at tweens? People that weren't even alive for all the stuff Blood Dragon is making fun of.
Then yes. 100%. Yes, sign me up.
Well, that's what they're doing. Along with Far Cry, Rayman, and Watch Dogs, these are apparently being adapted. We'll see if anything actually comes of it, but the idea of making a Blood Dragon TV show for people that weren't... It feels really ageist to say this, but like, if you weren't even alive yet in the 90s, will you even get what Blood Dragon is making fun of? Does that mean the show is just really the aesthetic of Blood Dragon, which is cool unto itself, but like it lacks the like future of 1999 jokes?
I think it works. I wouldn't call it like... No, I think you can enjoy... I mean, it doesn't matter what... Like, I love MASH, but I wasn't alive for the, Korean
I would
War.
argue that MASH's stuff is more relevant. Like, MASH isn't
yes,
parodying
military
a pop culture
life
thing.
is kind of... And military life as well. It's like, it's a little more... But also, the Watch Dogs spinoff is apparently also going to be kind of tweenish, because it's taking place in a middle school.
Okay, that's a little... Okay.
I'm sorry, if that means I get to get like teenage Aiden Pierce batoning people in hallways, because that's what you did in that game. Never forget, Aiden Pierce is a fucking monster. I'm in.
Yeah.
If they fully capture like the edgelordiness that was Aiden Pierce just assaulting random people on a street, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Or the fact that you're a domestic terrorist in the second one. Either one I'm okay with.
Yep. But that's...
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that, like, maybe, the Rabbids
They've
and Rayman...
been trying to adapt stuff for years. Like, if you're forgetting their E3 from last year, they even showed off that, like, new thing from some of the It's Always Sunny guys, where it's like, yo, we're doing a TV show about how ridiculous game creation is. It's like, that's not something to make fun of at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, last but not least this week, we've alluded to it, we've kind of jokingly referenced to it, but Silent Hill, the franchise, will live on as a slot machine.
Womp womp.
Thanks, Konami.
We win.
Finally, Silent Hill as it was meant to be experienced, with gambling and potential payouts and bright lights and flashy colors and loud noises, truly capturing what brought people to the Silent Hill franchise in the first place. Thank you, Konami, for bringing this to us.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yep.
Yeah, well done.
These cabinets even make me angry looking at them.
Yeah.
Based Konami.
Yep. Well, that does it for this week's episode of the... what the fuck am I saying? That does it for news. I'm getting way the fuck ahead of myself. We got emails this week. We had several emails, actually. So,
yeah.
Henry, if you wanted to contact us, how would you go about doing that via email?
That would be wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
What's that email again, Alex?
wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
Again, that's wickedawesomecast@gmail.com. Spell as it sounds down in the show notes, etc., etc. We got some emails this week, and since we kind of already popped the seal on it a little bit, we're going to start off with... this one comes in from Anonymous. I think most of ours come in from Anonymous this week, actually. But it's about kind of ethically playing video games that have become controversial. Dear Wicked Awesomecast, I'm sure the big topic this week, maybe so big it's the entire and only news thing this week, is the whole Blizzard PR fiasco. Previously, you've talked about Gearbox, Activision, and EA in this way, but since I don't really play games from those companies, it didn't directly affect me. Like Alex, I'm a long-time WoW player and dabbler in Hearthstone and Overwatch, and now, every time I open Battle.net, I feel gross. I'm sure the official answer is no, but do you have any advice for getting past this conflicted feeling?
Okay, well, I mean, alright, so
No.
I'll go... I'd like to say something, because I've actually... I already mentioned, I've taken the drastic step of deleting my account on it. But I'm not necessarily asking everybody to delete their accounts, because, like I said, it comes with the rather, I have to say, very corrupt and unethical thing of they also take away everything you paid for. You already paid real money. Like, I paid real money, for example, for Overwatch, and that's gone forever now. I can't re-access it. I can't play it again. And same goes for anything you would have bought through Blizzard on your Battle.net account. That it's gone. So it's like, so part of my nuanced take on it is, I don't blame you if you want to still play the games you literally already paid for. I mean, you paid real money for these games. And so, like, if you already paid for something, still do that. Take advantage of it, because you paid for it already. So you should get to take advantage of that. So I'm not telling everybody that they should follow in my footsteps, but I will say that. I'm going to say that you should play the games you paid for. Now, as far as with the cognitive dissonance, or however you're feeling, feeling torn in some way about it, it's like, for a lot of ways, sometimes the only way to protest for some people, myself included, seems to be to protest with my wallet. And so my thing was, from this point on, like, I don't want to give you any more money. Like, it's like I've given you money in the past. Same as I bought Borderlands 2. I own Borderlands and Borderlands 2. I'm not buying 3 because there again that had for me already gotten to the point of, I don't want to give you money anymore. Like, I'm not willing to do that. I want to vote with my wallet. And so I think, and that's the part there. It's like, I have these games, and I have games I'm excited for, or a game I want to continue playing with a subscription-based thing. But it's like, I think it's a decision you have to make for yourself. How much does a thing matter to you? How much does, and that's the toughest thing, is like, how much does what's going on in Hong Kong matter to you? Do you think it, or also you're balancing, do you think it'll make a difference to Blizzard? Myself, I don't care if it makes a difference to Blizzard. I just can't, for me personally, in good faith and in good conscience, I can't continue to buy their products. But I mean, that's the decision everybody's going to have to make is, do you think, a part of it is, do you think it will matter to you, or if do you think that, or it will matter to Blizzard, and if that's not even in your consideration, does it matter to you, and how much do you think it should matter to you? And I think that's where, I've read some articles on this, and where people are, it's like, I have to decide how much this means to me, and what that, and then what that, once I've kind of come to a better understanding of how I feel about this and what it means to me, how, what actions do I think are correct to take? And I think that's up to everybody's decision. But you have to consider, there's a lot there. There is nuance there. I'm kind of known as, like, for social activism, I'm known as being very hardcore, like super hardcore. I don't expect everybody to be like me. I don't. I kind of would like that to a certain extent, but I can't expect that, and I think it's a little bit unfair to expect that. And so that's, I wanted to give a bit, say that, despite my own leanings, like, I do have a nuanced take on this. I have thought about it pretty deeply.
Yeah.
Because I had to think about that too. When pushing the yes, I will delete my account button, I had to put I had spent time thinking about that. I spent like a good 2 days, which is usually, I get 48 hours before I make a lot of decisions. And so in this one, I put a lot of thought into it. I was like, yeah, that's a decision I made, but it's up to you. But, all right, so everybody else?
I think Alex probably, of the three of us, Alex is the most,
yes.
I don't want to say directly impacted by this, so I actually want to save you for the end, because mine's going to be real quick, if that's okay, Alex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, of the three of us, I have the least impact on this one, because I only have the Battle.net launcher installed to play Destiny, and I am super happy that Destiny's now on Steam for a whole myriad of reasons, and this is just fortuitous. I think in broad strokes, the idea of, I played Borderlands. I didn't feel great playing Borderlands, and maybe that feeds into my having not finished Borderlands 3 yet kind of thing. For us, it's a little bit weirder because we kind of have to talk about video games, and sometimes we have to talk about popular video games regardless of kind of the stigmas around them. And for better or worse, of the three of us, I'm the one that's kind of got the least scruples when it comes to that, but also, unfortunately, the games I seem to like fall in the kind of controversial category with more frequency, so I'm used to it. And at least the way I go about dealing with this is I try and separate the idea of the company is not necessarily the people that make the game, and those people have to get paid too, kind of thing. And very often they don't get paid if games don't do well. So it's a total cop-out, but the idea of at least my sale is hypothetically going to paying some coder and some designer and their paychecks, and then I just don't further support the game. If DLC comes out for Borderlands 3, A, because I don't think it's good, but B, because the whole situation's just gotten totally off the rails, I won't be buying it, kind of thing. It's my initial investment has hopefully gone to covering people's kind of paychecks, and I don't need to keep buying in at that point. That's at that point, it's a truly conscious choice, I think. Overwatch, you already own it, and you can keep playing Overwatch, hypothetically, so long as you don't buy anything in the game ever again, hypothetically. And, again, this is where I get weird, too, because I kind of take the hard stance of, if you're truly protest something, you have to kind of fully commit to it, and that's maybe not totally right, but it's how I operate. But, yeah, it's the WoW is a little more complicated, Hearthstone's a little more complicated, but if you like playing Overwatch, just don't spend more money on Overwatch. You're technically kind of, in the most kind of roundabout way of thinking about it, you're bleeding Blizzard by not giving them more money and playing Overwatch because you're chewing up power and data on their server and stuff. It's not a great justification, but if you care a great deal about Overwatch, just don't put any more money into it and enjoy the game. But also, it's important to think about these things. I am super happy the Battle.net launcher is off my computer for a whole just collection of reasons. Going all the way back to, I don't think Overwatch is as good as people think it is, but that's not the point of this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Where I get hung up on things is when people decide games are bad and games are good based on who made them. I think it's been a long time since I think Blizzard has deserved their Blizzard magic quotation, and also at the same time, I was willing to give Anthem a shot because BioWare was fine. It's but it's EA bad. I'm yes, EA bad, and possibly BioWare bad too, but they made Mass Effect, and will I do that anymore? No, but Andromeda was bad, but not so bad I wasn't willing to give them the second chance. No third chances, admittedly, but yeah. All right, Alex, you're up. Mr. Directly Impacted.
So this is really a mixed bag for me. I totally am support of the the situation happening right now with like Hong Kong and all that, like that's absolutely that. And I totally agree that Blizzard's actions are completely stupid and all that. As such, I do still have my BlizzCon ticket though, because I'm going to watch that. So I didn't request a refund on that. I did, however, cancel my subscription. That will end December 16th. So if
That's massive. Just saying.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what I was talking about, the idea where it's you've already paid through that point in time kind of thing. Like,
no, that part's already paid.
You've paid for it, and there's no guarantee they'll give you even that money back. It's kind of running out the clock.
No, it's actually, once you pay it, you pay for 6 months and that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That being said, it's still something that I am weighing. But for the time being, to send the message, I did opt to cancel it. So, whether or not Blizzard makes things right and things will change, I will put it out there that I will happily resub if things change for the better. But for the time being, it was rough, man. Like,
and I think you're indirectly bringing up an important point too, which is your view on this is allowed to change. Make sure it's changing for the right reasons. Like we've said numerous times in this podcast, there are a lot of reasons to not like Borderlands 3. The Randy Pitchford thing, like that whole ongoing lawsuit, that's now no longer a reason. You can still not like Randy Pitchford for a variety of reasons, but the lawsuit going away now means that like you can't cite that one as directly. Like it can be in the back of your mind, and there's plenty of other valid reasons too. Yeah.
Yeah, remember, we've covered several other reasons on Borderlands.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Epic bad has always been my primary factor for that. But Epic not bad no more. Epic good. So, am I buying Borderlands 3 now? I don't know.
Probably not. Like, keep playing Destiny 2.
I'll reinstall the Epic client.
You know what's been pretty good lately? Destiny. Just throwing that out there.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
yeah.
You need to play a loot shooter. Like, I am, for the time being right now, it's canceled. I'm still playing it because I'm still doing my raid stuff, but I made sure to put in my cancellation that the reason I was canceling was because of the way this was handled. They give you an option to put that in there, and why are you canceling? And I made sure to specifically put why I was canceling.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to bring up the fact that, like, I've explained on the name of the game. World of Warcraft is a big part of Alex's life socially. Like, it is a thing.
Yeah.
He builds his weekly schedule. The same way I build my life around Destiny occasionally. Like, I have my raid night. Alex has his raid nights, kind of thing.
And also, there's guilds. Yeah. Guilds exist.
Yeah.
Those are real people in those guilds. I'm there again. Like, I'm aware of that. Like I said, that's why I'm, as hardcore of a protester, like social activist I am. Like, I do have nuance to my views too. I'm not a total hard ass. When it comes to especially thinking about other people, and I'm also like, if you paid for something, go ahead and keep using it. It's like, I've set my my games on fire, but that doesn't mean everybody has to send a message.
Yeah. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now with it. Like, am I a hypocrite? Am I not? Like, that's the thing. Like, it feels weird, and so I'm gonna have to definitely weigh in on it for the next while, and I just don't want to make it sound like it's a cop out. So I'm being perfectly discreet on this one. It's just, for the time being, right now, it is currently set.
Yeah, the thing is like, I guess I'm less forgiving in a lot of ways. I guess in certain things like this for like companies and sort of bad missteps, and so, but a lot of people that are keeping their accounts are like, but still, doing things like you're doing, like canceling their WoW subscription and or something or other, or getting a refund on BlizzCon, whatever. That's taking a stand too, and that also sends a message.
Yeah.
Especially like they rely on WoW consistent income for a lot of things, because like they make a lot more on WoW's consistent income than they do on the occasional loot box buy of an Overwatch player.
No, and I also think the thinking about it is important. Like, the fact that you are thinking about this, like, that's a big step in many ways for the general gaming public. Like, think about how many fucking Madden games get sold a year, despite football controversy, EA controversy, Madden controversy, labor controversy,
NBA controversy.
Yeah,
We won't go into that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
We kind of did gloss over that some this week. Yeah, the NBA is in a fight with the China now too, sort of.
So yeah, it's not really gaming related,
No.
but yeah.
We don't cover the sports ball here except hockey, and that's not so much anymore. Even Jeff, I miss you, my hockey friend. Anyone got more to say on this, or can we move on to our next one?
No, that's it.
All right, cool. Next one is the fates of the Division 2 and Borderlands 3. Eyes up, Guardians. Well, with Charlie back into what I'm assuming is full Destiny mode, it's seeming like Alex is slowly getting into the game in a more meaningful way. I found myself wondering, will the ultimate fate of loot shooters were with these two. Sorry, the wording's kind of weird. Just in case you're not sure exactly what I'm talking about, Anthem 3, Borderlands 3 Divisions, some Warframe stuff, and Monster Hunter Iceborne have all come out in the time span that's roughly been the last year. Everything except Destiny seems to have fallen by the wayside, but I'm curious if you all have any final thoughts on the various loot shooter service games that you've played prior to Shadowkeep. Anthem still is promising as hell, but they're never going to deliver on it. Warframe, a bunch of the guys in the Destiny clan I play with, like, we all are Warframe players, and we all say the exact same thing is, that game's real cool, but killing things in it sucks. Shooting in that game is bad, melee in that game doesn't feel great, the second-to-second gameplay doesn't feel good. The only saving grace is its movement system, which other games out there even do better than it. Borderlands 3, there's, if I'm playing a loot shooter, I'd rather just play Shadowkeep at that point because it cares about my choices. I don't know. Maybe Alex goes through this some occasionally too, but Borderlands has loot shooter light systems where there's no reason to grind ultimately except for the sake of grinding. At least Destiny gives you a reason to grind, which is to grow stronger and do harder stuff. Once you've beaten Borderlands, there's no reason to really beat Borderlands a second time or a third or fourth time. Or to New Game Plus. It doesn't change the game fundamentally in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the Division 2 just fizzled for me. What about you, Alex?
Well, I mean, I'm used to games that grind and go on and do a thing, so that's kind of what I'm used to, especially with WoW, because every time there's a new big patch, well, time to go to the same thing again. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to add any extra to it. What is it you want to hear specifically from me on it?
I don't know. I'm not the one that wrote this email in, I guess. So what did you play this year? You played Destiny 2 and Division 2,
Destiny
I think?
2. I leveled up. I maxed out on Division 2 for a while, and then I got kind of bored of it. I didn't do any of the raids, but I did, reach top level, or max level, or whatever. But not gear-wise and all that. But, let's see.
No, I think you're kind of echoing. I think you're getting at what he wanted us to answer, which is I think in the case of Division, you and I both got to points where it was just kind of nothing else to do really. Don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, with Destiny 2 right now, it does feel different because I just want to piggyback on a point you said earlier. When Destiny 2 first came out, you could get done with all your stuff for the week pretty quick, and then that was it. Now there's tons of shit for you to do. Almost to the point where, honestly, I had to ask my guildies what they do, or my clanmates in Destiny 2 what they do, because it's just so overwhelming now.
And right now it's in a weird spot, too, where the what you do on a weekly basis is fucked, because we're all still trying to gear up.
Yeah. So, that part's odd, but some stuff is fairly consistent, so... yeah. I mean, you reach a certain point, but, if the game is well done, I don't mind doing the mouse wheel, or the mouse wheel, so to speak. Destiny 2's the way it's doing it right now feels really good.
Yeah.
WoW progression has always felt pretty, for the most part. Even with all the dumb shit they do, there's a path you can do. Yeah, old school WoW was really easy to kind of get through and do your thing, all that chat. So, new school WoW, there's too much stuff going on. It's just, it's kind of a weird place because you have content drought from previous patches, but now in current patches, you have an overwhelming amount of things to do, almost to the point where there's just so much to do for so many characters that I don't even do alts anymore. because it's just not worth it for me to want to do it because there's so much to do on the main character.
Yeah.
But I think Destiny 2, once I reach a certain point with my Warlock, I'll start on my Hunter or my Titan, but probably the Hunter. I don't really have anything extra to add on that one.
No, I think that got to the point of it. We got one more Destiny one for you and I, Alex.
Destiny good.
Yeah. Hey, Wicked Awesome Cast, folks who play Destiny. Given the big Blizzard news this week, I am sure the topic of what game Alex will take up raiding on next will be, if I remember correctly, Charlie seems to be really into raiding up until SK dropped, and now that he's taken Alex under his veteran raider wing, will we see streams of him Sherpaing Alex through D2 raids?
I'd be down.
Yeah, I would be too, in all honesty. Honestly, if we get Henry a graphics card, I suspect he'd be in for that too.
Yeah. I would. That's the thing, is like, I'm still trying to save up money for a graphics card, but don't really, it's not in my budget yet.
I get it.
Well, I'm waiting to get a newer card pretty soon, and if you want my RX 580, it's yours, dude.
Yo, yeah, I will totally, like, throw you some money for that.
Yeah, if you cover shipping, that's all I need.
But yeah, so that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I've been dying to play literally anything
It requires a graphics card.
Yeah, which is so many games. I mean, I've been so limited because I've been dying to play Destiny 2. Like, seriously, like, I really seriously want to play that. As well as, like, I have my Terra account, which is just, like, gathering dust. You know, that's the MMO that I play a ton of. And so that's just, like, sitting there like, please, please, sir.
I would love
like
to be played.
But yeah, that's... So yeah, that'd be cool, but...
Yeah.
We'll get that fixed as soon as we can.
I don't know exactly when I'll get my new one, because I'm kind of holding off for some of these really nice new AMD cards, but once I have that, if you still don't have a card, dude, you can totally have my old RX 580.
Yeah, well, and I would be really appreciative.
Yeah. No worries, senor. Yeah. Then we can finally get the stream with all of them. Which, by the way, little fun tidbit on the stream thing there.
Mm?
You know who followed me recently and liked my stream for Facebook Gaming?
Who?
The guy in charge of Facebook Gaming for North America.
Interesting.
Whoa! Awesome.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, he followed me on Twitter and all that. So.
Interesting.
Nice.
So now, officially, Facebook Gaming, Mave Online, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. We have a special kind of collection of email now. It's 2 emails in 2 parts. Or it's 1 email in 2 parts, I guess, by the way of thinking it. I'm going to let you guess who this one's from, Alex, and I'll reveal at the end. Hello, fuckers, and Henry. On a recent episode, Charlie discussed accosting children in an effort to cancel Halloween. My question is simple. What holiday are you canceling next, and how do you plan on doing so? I expect true supervillainy. Second part. P.S. Tell Alex the following. I can't pronounce this. I will send it to you in chat. But yes. What holiday are we ruining next?
We're ruining holidays now?
Apparently, I think my talk about stealing stealing candy from children last year on Halloween is what sparked this.
Yep, literally taking candy from a baby.
Hey, preteens. I would never take candy from a baby, but like a middle schooler, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so the next holiday we ruin, and how can we ruin it? I don't want to... Christmas is too obvious of one.
I am Jewish, so I don't know how to ruin Christmas even, except continue what I'm doing.
So...
St. Patrick's Day is we're gonna serve all duels.
Ooh, St. Patrick's Day. Ruin St. Patrick's Day?
Dude, we live in we live in fucking LA, the land of the mocktail and like hard kombucha now, so
yeah.
People are doing it for us. Like, we're a bar, but we no longer serve alcohol. We serve mocktails that cost $13 a piece and contain no alcohol or only borderline traces. Or the flip side, we've taken this borderline alcoholic fruit juice health drink and made it hard.
Or, like White Claw. That's all I gotta say.
Nothing wrong with White Claw. They're finally fixing the most important problems facing our society. What the fuck to do with seltzer?
But yeah, sorry, White Claw is ruining. ruining everything too. Yep, that's you know what? Ruining alcohol is definitely the best way to ruin St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
How about
So this message. Who sent this message?
Ha! So it's time to reveal it. Invader Gur, aka Fishor, aka Jeff. What does it say?
Never forget that you promised me the best tacos that Los Angeles has to offer.
It's a threat. You did make that promise. There are recordings of it.
Yes. Is he going to be there next week?
Yeah, he's coming.
I'm bringing tacos.
There's a decent chance you got his girlfriend to actually figure out how to say that in Spanish for him too.
Yeah, no, that's actually really well written.
Yeah, that's his girlfriend's fault. That's his girlfriend's job then.
Yeah.
I don't think Jeff has that skill.
I'll tell you, there was a lot of work into it because he actually put the accent, the tilde over the A in uncle.
Fair enough.
So, yes. Yeah. I don't know what holiday to ruin next.
Cinco de Mayo, which has already been ruined by white people.
Oh yeah, sorry, that one's already
Invented
been super
and ruined.
Yeah, super ruined.
No, I think if you really want to ruin, let's take Black History Month and just a month of blackface. Like, I think that will really ruin everything.
That's too far, but yeah.
That's like
or just School in the South. I don't know which.
Yeah, let's just like if you want to just scorched earth nuclear ruin, let's just do that. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Release Song of the South during Black History Month.
Henry wins this round. Henry wins this round. That is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah. Because they've widely disavowed it.
Song of the South? You have to fill me in on this.
Disney made the Disney you know has a long and storied history of cultural insensitivity. Will throw it down, and they have a movie called Song of the South, which is just
oh no!
It's hard to describe how racist that thing is in hindsight. Like, you know the song Zippity Doodah? That's from Song of the South.
But where it's
Song of the South almost can be viewed as like a movie about how maybe people were better off being slaves.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, Henry wins that
awful.
round.
Yeah. So I know how to ruin a holiday.
Yeah. Song of the South is a winner. You ruin Hanukkah by reminding people the movie fucking Hebrew Hammer exists. That's how you ruin Hanukkah easily. Because Hebrew Hammer is a garbage movie that makes families stop talking to each other.
I've never heard of that.
It's real bad. It shows up on Comedy Central every once in a while. It is, I suppose some people might find it funny, but it's also just kind of a bad. It is the scary movie of Jewish stereotypes, kind of like forced into a plot of some kind that you're like, yep. Instead of doing cocaine, they're doing allergy medication. Yeah, that is. Like the best line in the entire movie is someone picks up the phone and you hear them mumbling on the other side, and the main character goes like, "Fucking spit the hard candy out of your mouth," and the guy does, and then speaks normal. It's like, yep. That's a low bar too. Like, it's not a great line, but it's the best part of that movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that's talking to my grandmother.
So are we gonna monkey paw all the holidays now? Is what's going on here?
I think that's what we're being asked to do. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I mean, we're already. I think we've covered a lot of the major ones that people actually care about. See, that's the thing. It's like when we start getting to obscure holidays, nobody really cares.
I think we nailed it. And speaking of nailed it, we can hang out bloody lowercase t's during the holidays, winter season. That might work. I heard that's a big thing. Yeah.
Just remind Jewish people.
I mean, if we're just gonna ruin all of it, let's just throw it all in the dumpster fire. Essentially, is what we're doing right now.
The U.S. government's done a great job of ruining 4th of July and Veterans Day for me. So, no need for me to work on that one myself, even.
Yeah. Sometimes things we don't even have to try.
Living in LA has made me hate Easter in ways I never did previously. Mostly because I did not expect LA to respect Easter the way it does.
Yeah.
Easter was just an excuse to hide eggs.
That's what Dude,
Easter
growing up being Jewish and like living around Easter but never celebrating it.
To get people to buy eggs into egg propaganda.
Dude, Easter is one of those holidays that when you're growing up Jewish, you do not get. Even as an adult, I'm like, I understand what Easter is, but like how you celebrate Easter, I'm like, you understand you're in a cult, right? Like, this is some culture. No, someone dresses up as a rabbit and you murder the rabbit? No, the rabbit hides eggs. Yes, a thing that rabbits are not known for doing in nature at all. And the eggs are like eggs? No, they're candy now, and children find them.
But also, you still boil eggs and also color them, and that's a thing.
Like,
which I've actually done. Straight up.
All that's missing is like some white person to tell me, yeah, and then you murder one of the children that finds the most eggs. He's the sacrifice for the harvest god.
Well,
like,
I mean,
that makes sense.
You have, Christmas trees and Santa Claus. So I mean,
Pagan shit. Yeah.
It's like, what? Does that have to do with literally anything? It's like, who cares? I mean, it's like, nonsense.
Santa Claus was started by creepy uncles to have an excuse to have children sit in their lap.
Oh, no. All right, have we ruined holidays enough yet?
I think we got Christmas pretty good. I think we got Easter.
I think just remind everyone the pagan roots of things and then get into fights with them about it and then be like, I don't know, invite vegans to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I mean, I go to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know.
They're a nice vegan option.
Not in my family, there aren't.
I can eat stuffing.
Yeah, you're not vegan, though. You're vegetarian. The vegan adds a whole other aspect to it.
I look forward to hearing about the Beyond Turkey this Thanksgiving. Beyond's crushing it with the Carl's Jr. burgers and all that.
Well, that already exists.
A giant Beyond Turkey?
Well, not like a giant one, but I mean, Tofurkey is already a thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, as well as like other brands like Quorn has their own like turkey roast as well, like fake turkey roast. So I mean, that's already been around. Like that's done. So in case everybody didn't know that's listening, I am a vegetarian. So yeah, it's like I go to all sorts of food things. I just, sometimes I just end up having to eat side dishes, but whatever, I don't care. I just like to be there.
Really, really off topic, but really quick, I'll just throw it in there. I went to a fish market one time because a bunch of my coworkers wanted to go there. I don't eat seafood, so I just ordered a plate of fries and some bread. And they looked at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't eat seafood, so I'm eating the things off the menu I can eat.
Welcome to my world. How is it? How was it, Alex? How'd it feel?
You know what? It was not so bad.
You reminded me of the John Mulaney bit where it's like, you don't drink. We have this container of flowers. Would that be something you'd enjoy?
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't really care. I'm a vegetarian that really, really super doesn't care.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence, Jeff, and writing in and all that jazz.
And thank you, everybody else.
Yes.
Thank you to Anonymous and Anonymous.
Is that Anonymous?
Yeah.
We enjoyed your emails. It was a fun week to get emails because, well, the rest of the week wasn't fun. Like, I wish there was a way for us to publish our chat log leading up to the podcast, because, like...
Yeah. Wow.
Like, I'm at fucking Baby Metal and you guys are fucking popping off with shit, and I'm like, I don't have time to read this right now. I'm gonna send a picture of Baby Metal and go back to watching the show.
Oh, I didn't know that. Alright, so that even adds another element to it. I didn't realize some of that was happening while you were at the concert. That was a thing
I was looking at like 10 seconds. I'm like, there's a platform with dancers on it shooting sparks and fire. Cool!
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that does it for this week, though. Who wants to take us out this week? Anyone got anything they want to talk about before we close it out?
No, other than, like, I don't think I'll really be streaming a lot this week. Obviously, this weekend I won't be doing any my ratings, so I won't be doing any normal weekend streaming, because I'll be at Carly's.
Worth reminding, we're not doing a podcast next week. We will return in not 1 week, but 2 with a vengeance!
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, Facebook Gaming. I'm streaming stuff on there now, and now that I have a guy who follows me on there, I'm gonna pimp the shit out of it, baby!
Is this like fucking Tom's friends on MySpace? Like, he just friends anyone who uses the process?
Yes. So, yeah. No, that's That's it for me. Other than just Mave Online, social media's everywhere.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am Kraken Zero. That's ZER0 on Facebook and on Instagram, and on Twitch I am Nomad Har. That's Nomad HAR, and I am planning on streaming some making of the May costume that I'm planning on wearing to the protest. So I'll be assembling some materials this week, and I'll probably be streaming at least some of the making of. But yeah, we'll be posting on my social media whenever I go online, whenever I start streaming. So
yeah.
That's a thing.
And I don't pimp it much, but most of my social media stuff is under Mordak still, MORD4K. All my gaming stuff now is Mordak Undivided. No fancy letters or numbers as letters in there. If you want pictures of my wedding, that's probably the first place to go find stuff. I also have baby metal pictures up, and there will be pictures of Amon Amarth and Arch Enemy up before the next podcast goes up, because that's essentially what me and my fiance, then wife, will be doing for our honeymoon, because we are busy individuals who can't afford to go anywhere in the near future. Yeah. Viking metal. Yeah.
All right.
But I think that does it for this week, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Who wants to close us out?
Cue the battle!